Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pixels to Politics. I'm Dougie, and with me is Bray. Tonight, we'll dive into the latest developments in the Middle East, advancements in AI, and the ongoing Trump investigation. We'll also discuss protests in Venezuela, recent U.S. Supreme Court decisions, updates in the Marvel Universe, the upcoming Olympics, and moist critical stepping back from the internet. Nice little array of topics to cover.
Wait, Moist Critical's stepping away from the internet.
Yeah, bro. So 2 episodes ago you weren't here. We had Tom. Or was the last episode? I think it was the last episode. We had Tom and um another friend of mine named Meowing Cat, and we were talking about the Sneeko um Mr. Beast drama.
Yeah.
Okay, so they did a debate, and I don't know how it turned into this, but so Mr. Beast's friend comes out for context. Um, it turns out that they were talking inappropriately around or to minors. It's kind of like still scuffed. And then there's like some other things where they may or may not have bought uh weird content from a known pedophile. Okay, so just for context, right?
Mm.
Anyways, Sneeko, who I really hate because he comes from this generation. Do you know who Sneeko is? Yeah,
Yeah,
what
I've seen some of his stuff.
his content is
Yeah.
is like it's that like go into a fucking Walmart and look at me prank people. It doesn't actually do that, but he's very
Yeah, yeah.
obnoxious, and he just comes from that generation of YouTubers and content creators, and I fucking can't stand it. However, he has this take where he says that, wow, look at all these content creators who covered the Doctor Disrespect drama, where Doctor Disrespect came out to, it turns out he had messaged a minor, and they were so quick to jump on him and criticize him, but because this other person who is trans, they're trans, they didn't get as much attention, and that was
Yeah.
Sneeko's criticism. And Moist, who is known to be a content creator who covers drama like this, whenever something like this pops off, he's like, "Oh my god,
Right.
this is the situation." Honestly, Sneeko criticized him for being slow. I thought he was fine. He's not known to immediately drop shit out in just a day, but whatever. So they had a debate, and I don't know how it turned out like this outcome, but basically the whole debate was Sneeko was standing on the platform that uh um fuck consent. What is the 18? I'm forgetting the
The
word.
age of consent.
The age of consent should be lower for
Oh,
females.
okay.
Um, which I mean, fuck. You probably shouldn't say something like that out loud.
I mean, like, I don't like. I've been like reading up on a lot of the dramas. I know they had like a debate or whatever,
Hmm.
where and I just read like the general articles. I don't really watch the videos.
I didn't either.
And the article said that Sneeko was like, we need to lower the age of consent, or 15 is okay, or whatever, or something like that. And then Moist Critical is essentially like, it's not okay. And then he says that puberty blockers are okay. And then it's like neither of those statements are good,
Yeah.
from my perspective.
That. Yeah.
Like the thing is, if you firmly believe the age of consent should be 18, that means that you genuinely believe that people aren't mature enough to make decisions about their body until they're 18. So at that point, you can't then go and say, well, it's okay for people under 18 to take puberty blockers. There has to be a line where you say, oh, you have to be 18 to consent, which means you also have to be 18 to consent to puberty blockers or something along those lines. You can't have your cake and eat it too kind of deal. And same thing with the age of consent. And you would expect someone who would say, the age of consent should be lower, would agree with puberty blockers, but Sneeko had actually the reverse opinion. And then, and then I think Moist Critical tried to compare puberty blockers to sports, and I was like, what? If you do sports, you can just quit, and there's no negative side effects. But if you take puberty blockers and quit, you're still left with some medical issues going on there. And I think there's a lot of other creators that were chiming in on that issue. And obviously, I don't care if whatever someone wants to be trans or whatever, or if they are trans or whatever they identify as. I don't really care about any of that. I do care about is having intellectual honesty at this point. You know, and it's not being intellectually honest to say that you know, the age of consent should be 18, but puberty blockers should be lower age. That doesn't. That's just stupid. But so I can understand why he would probably not want to talk on the internet. I don't. Is that the reason why he took a hiatus?
Yeah, so he got a lot of backlash for saying that
Yeah.
it was okay for them to be on puberty blockers,
Yeah.
and so now he's stepping down, which I think is crazy because this guy is like known for giving his opinion on basically everything. And so he finally comes out, and this is, he gives this opinion, and he gets a lot of backlash, which, whatever side of the fence you're on, it's fine. And I'm just surprised. I'm a fan. I love this shit. I pretty much watch his videos all the time. I'm like on it pretty quick. I'm a regular consumer. Um, so I was surprised because everyone's gonna have an opinion at some point that isn't going to be well liked. And I hate this general fear that I've noticed people have started to have when it
Yeah.
comes to controversial topics because of the backlash they're going to get. And even this guy who's known for giving opinions on stuff and criticizing other content creators. This is not the first time him and Sneeko have like had a problem.
Yeah.
Uh, all of a sudden he's like, this is crazy, and he steps down. I agree that like both their takes are pretty fucking stupid. Um,
Yeah.
they're not, like you said. It's not so much that like, oh, I agree or disagree with one or the other. It's just like they don't even have consistency between them, and it just doesn't make sense. I completely agree. That's like my consistent problem with a lot of these takes is that, and we're gonna take this another step further because now Kai Cenat, you know who Kai Cenat is, another big streamer, probably one of the biggest in the world next to iShow Speed and Mr. Beast. I think, yeah, he's definitely up there. His cameraman, uh, his name is Chris. I have to be careful because there's two Chris's who work in that house. This is the cameraman, not Chris next door. A lot of people have been fucking that up.
Yeah.
He got caught talking to a 17-year-old. I think he's 21. I might be wrong.
Yeah.
So he is getting, he got a lot of shit. He got fired, and Kai, you know, he talked about it on stream. He's very emotional. He's like on the verge of tears. He's very upset. And just last week, I think it was last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, but he took a phone call from Drake and praised the new album or the new song or whatever. And a lot of people pointed out that, like, hey, bro, Drake does the same thing. like,
Yeah.
like, Drake is known for doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And yet here you are. And I just, again, like, back to your point, like, it's insane that these people who they're very famous and they're very influential, they just don't have consistent takes, and it's completely arbitrary, and
Yeah.
it's just wild. It's just
Yeah.
absolutely wild.
Yeah. I think I'm like, and this is another issue with like the age of consent is that there's not really like a globally defined age. Like, for example, in the Middle East, you're gonna have girls that are being married away at like 12, 13 years
It
old,
goes
right?
even younger. If you're in like an
Yeah.
extremist country like Iran or even Afghanistan, they literally
Yeah.
sell their daughters, dude. They sell them at like
Yeah.
8 and 9, and it gets so much worse. I can't. It's just so bad. But sorry, keep
Yeah.
going.
And it's like, but people come to the understanding that those are like third world countries, right? And you have other countries where it's like 14, right? And they're like somewhat civilized. And then if you go to Europe, I think it's like in the United Kingdom, the age of consent is 16.
16. It tends to be
And
around
so
16. Yeah.
like the things that people are getting canceled for over in America for like 21-year-olds being with a 17-year-old is stuff that wouldn't even be considered an issue in the United Kingdom, right? So it's like where do people really draw the line? And I kind of like to focus on a contextual basis. I don't immediately hear, oh, a 20-year-old was getting with a 17-year-old, and that's immediately cause to label him a pedophile, right? I'm like, okay, well, what's the situation? Was this like he coerced her, or did she lie about her age? Like, what happened,
She
right?
did lie.
I don't.
The chick, I think the chick for the Chris situation, she
Yeah.
did lie. I don't want to slander on accident, but I think the situation is she lied. So, but sorry, keep going.
Yeah, no, it's like obviously, if you're 17 years old and you're lying about your age because you want to get with someone, right? That's obviously that's not wrong, or that's not right, I should say. And you can't really fault them for that kind of issue, but people want to blame others. They just want to focus on providing, internet justice in the form of comments, and so people always will dogpile on that issue. I don't immediately jump to conclusions with anything I read anymore, just because you read one thing and then the next thing you know, it turns out it was something else completely different. I think Moist Critical covered a video about a guy who was caught on a Zoom call with his in court driving to work when his
Oh yeah.
license was suspended,
Mhm.
and then it ended up being that his license wasn't suspended, and so he made a video apologizing for it.
Yeah.
And then it turned out that he didn't even have a license at all, and he wasn't supposed to be driving anyway. So the Moist Critical had to make another video about that. Whereas if he had just like waited for all that information to come out, he could have just made one long video about it and be done with it.
Yeah.
So I always like to wait a little bit before I jump to conclusions. I will say something that's been um, going around for a few days now, for like the past 2 or 3 days, has been the Mr. Beast situation in general, the Mr. Beast crew, which is actually kind of crazy in all honesty, because a lot of the stuff that's against him right now is pretty damning. I'll say that. There's some stuff where it's like whatever, but there's a lot of stuff, especially with like you know promoting gambling to children, which and especially in the way he did it, where they would like sign T-shirts, and a lot of the T-shirts that were signed weren't even by Mr. Beast. It was by his coworkers, or being like, hey, in the next 5 minutes we're gonna sell a shirt, and we're gonna sell it. It's gonna come with 10 grand in the box that comes with it. And then it's like, okay, now that it's been 5 minutes, we're gonna pick the first name we see. When the way he worded it made it sound like, oh, if you order within the next 5 minutes, you have a chance to get the $10,000.
Mm.
So a lot of shady business practices like that. There's also some stuff with like rigging the shows on his YouTube channel. I don't really care about that. Um, I think that doesn't really surprise me. I can easily believe that they're rigged. But and there's a lot of people that would go to those events and wouldn't know that. And so I think honestly, his reputation is probably going to take a pretty big hit after all this evidence and information has come out. Because now you have people complaining that they weren't receiving medication, or that they were having seizures during one of the events. People were not being fed; they didn't have much to sleep on. It was just an overall poor decorum for what his channel is, which is one of the biggest channels on YouTube.
It is the biggest channel.
Is it? Is it the biggest?
There, it's either first or second. It's like in constant competition with T Series or whatever. But I'm pretty sure the latest news was that it's had surpassed and it was number one. So.
Yeah, and not only that, but then you have all this information about Ava Tyson or
Mhm.
whatever, grooming minors, and being being sexual with minors in a Discord channel. And Mr. Beast was aware of it. I know. I think he's made a couple statements saying that he's not, but he was aware of it, and so there was multiple people that said that he was aware of it before it was even the Discord messages were even leaked, and they were right. Um, and it's like all these paragons now are kind of just like losing their platform, like Mr. Beast, Ava Tyson, Moist Critical, Nico. Uh, who else? Who else am I thinking of?
Sneeko, I would argue, is actually gaining more
Well,
popularity.
his publicity is bad publicity. That's
Yeah.
how he garners his audience. So I'm not gonna count like in terms of you know what I mean. Like before,
Yo,
Sneaker
yeah,
used to have
100%.
like a following of like normal people. Now his following is people that want to see him fail. Kind of like what was that guy's name? He like traveled to Israel. He almost got shot. Johnny Somali. Johnny Somali.
Uh, yes,
Johnny
yes, yes.
Somali.
I think he got arrested a few times.
He's been arrested so many times. I don't
Yeah,
even think he.
that's fair.
But if you like watch his streams or whatever, the entire chat is hoping for him to fail. They're like, yeah, kick his ass, and they're laughing at him, because he's a clown.
Yeah,
It's um, the clown meta. If you be a clown, you get views, you still get money, right?
yeah.
Kind
No,
of same thing with Sneeko.
there's a new. I think so like back in the day, if you got downvoted, if you got disliked, it
Yeah,
actually would not show your content. Basically, if you got downvoted, it was like a sign that like, oh, your content's shit. We're not going to show it. And
yeah,
now it's actually a sign of engagement. So what you're right, like what a lot of these content creators are doing, or at least some of them, actually farm dislikes, just like
Yeah.
you would likes. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean they just do like clown content. It's the prank creator man where they just go out and they know they're not liked and they just go and do stupid
Yeah.
shit. And people, you're right, people just want to see them get beat up or
Yeah.
arrested or crazy shit happen. And
Exactly.
it's 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 now equally as engaging as wholesome content or you know
Yeah.
getting the max amount of likes. Um, I don't. I mean, I don't know what to do with it. I've kind of like don't really consume that much uh creator content like that anymore, like casual
Yeah.
creator content. So I mean, I
Yeah.
think it's
Yeah.
just aging out. But for the newer people coming in, they're just I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what that effect is, but probably
Yeah.
not
No.
good.
Yeah. It's honestly it's a little bit disconcerting to see all these people who always tried to maintain the moral high ground, like especially Moist Critical,
Yeah.
who's now essentially taken a hiatus from the internet and he's been removed off the podcast.
Oh yeah.
And it's
Two
like
two of them, I
this
think.
is a guy I would watch his videos every now and then, and I in his videos he'd always have the same sarcastic tone and be like, "Oh, look at this, we have another fool here today," but now he's the fool.
Yeah.
So it's like all these people that were judging others are now the ones that are falling victim to their own knives. It's very bizarre to watch because it's like all you had to do was not say stupid shit.
I don't even think it's that bad. Like it's fine.
Yeah,
That opinion. I mean, okay, the view on that opinion is pretty hit or miss, right? But like,
yeah,
dude, it's fine. You've been around for how many years? You've put out a video every single day. Like,
yeah.
and this is your one fall, like it's
We,
fine to have an opinion that people don't like. This is America. Like you can say shit like that. It's fine, bro. If that's what you believe, that's what you believe. And like just take the opportunity to think about it and either affirm that that's what you believe in or change your mind. It's not a big deal, bro. Joe Rogan talks
yeah,
about this all the time where he says like you just cannot get attached to your beliefs or ideas. It's fine to have them, but you got to be a little more fluid about it. And I've just been saying this a lot lately, but like it's the internet, bro. It doesn't matter
yeah,
what you say. You can say that everyone should go out and help homeless people, and somebody's not gonna like you for it, dude.
yeah.
Somebody on the internet's gonna hate you. They're gonna comment. They're gonna dislike. Like you
It's
kind
probably
of,
gonna be me.
it'll probably be you, yeah. Like,
It'll probably be me. Yeah.
dude, you have to get a thicker skin, man. You really do. You really need to adapt to thicker skin. And you
Well,
think,
yeah, but that's not like the issue here with Moist Critical. The issue with Moist Critical is that he built up his platform on having the moral high ground at all times, right? He built it up on being correct, about a situation in every circumstance. And now here's a situation where he's no longer correct, and he's not able to handle the ego, the damage to his ego from it. So I
but
think that's a big part of it.
you gotta. I mean, like, if you look back at the success, and you have like a 99.9% success rate,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's not a big deal, dude. It's really not. I don't think this is anywhere near. Like, this is not the equivalent of PewDiePie dropping the N bomb in the middle of a live stream. You know what I mean? Like,
no,
this
but
is not
but
the
the
same thing.
Well, and that's just how crazy things have gotten. Because I still remember the bridge incident with
Hmm.
PewDiePie all those years ago, and no one, like literally no one, like mentions it anymore. Like everyone's just
Oh,
chill
I
with it.
still
Everyone's
hear
like,
about it, to be honest with you. I heard
do
about
you?
it recently. Yeah, somebody, I
And
can't remember who brought it up, but
and honestly, it wasn't even used in a racial context. It was just he was just pissed off, and
yeah,
so he just said a slur,
yeah.
right? It's and so it's like whatever. He didn't like walk up to someone on the street and just be like calling them a slur. You know what I mean? He was just sitting on the bridge and he has to deal with a fucking sniper and he just called him a slur. Dude, back in COD days, back in
Oh
the
my
Modern Warfare
god.
2 days, that was all you would hear in lobbies was slurs,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And nowadays, you try and censor it like, dude, no one let people say what they want to say. People are going to get pissed off in games. You need to let them vent. That's what makes games fun.
Yeah, there
I don't know,
was
it's just my
there.
opinion.
No, I agree. I mean, I'm very free speech. I think people should be allowed to say whatever they want. I don't think it matters, and
Yeah.
I think you should just have enough skin to like
Take the
deal
hit.
with it. Yeah, like you just fucking deal with it, man. It's not a big deal. I think that moment was really crazy, just because
Yeah.
there had always been this divide between gamers and pretty much everyone else. Like you just had gamers and their culture, basically gaming culture, and then everybody else. And that culture you pretty much said whatever the fuck you wanted. You really did.
Yeah.
Didn't matter what
Yeah.
it was. You say all kinds of offensive stuff.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really in a racial context. It was just you're trying to be really offensive. And then
Exactly.
that moment, not just that moment, there were a lot at the time, but that moment was a key moment in which you had a lot of people who were not gamers kind of realize what gaming culture entailed, or at least a piece of it, and it kind of blew
Yeah.
a lot of people's minds. I don't, whatever. This, I
Yeah.
don't know what the fuck to label this in. This is like the peak of that, where the cultures have like mixed entirely, and so this guy who normally has great takes and is, you're right, like is pretty morally good, just
Yeah.
had to us a bad take.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even think that opinion is that. I mean, I think it's
I mean, it's
not
not
that
that
cruel.
incriminating or anything.
Yeah,
It's just that it's not like, especially for his viewer base, who is definitely probably not too okay with the whole idea behind puberty blockers to begin with. And now you got this guy saying it. Like, you also have to understand who your base is, right? And once you start talking about children, going on puberty blockers being okay and saying the age of consent should be 18, it's like you kind of got an issue there. You kind of got some cognitive dissonance going on. You know what I mean? It's little like almost like delirium in a way, and people are really put off by that. Yeah, I don't think he could handle the backlash, mentally. So that's why I did the hiatus thing.
yeah. To me, that's the wild part. Is just not being able to handle the the backlash.
I have a Yeah, I have a feeling Mr. Beast is going to be undergoing a lot of lawsuits as well. He's going to have to deal with a lot of lawsuits.
Do you think?
And
Just out of
yeah,
curiosity, isn't it a little
mm,
interesting that he like came out and said he'd run for presidency? It got a lot of positive feedback. I
yeah,
don't want to put on the conspiracy hat, but then all of a sudden,
yeah.
all these allegations come out against him.
Honestly, I didn't really I never really watched like Mr. Beast's videos or
Me neither.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's I never really thought of him as like a good person. I didn't think he was a bad person, but I didn't think he was like scummy to that point. But after seeing all these allegations come out about him, and some of them being evidence, some of them not, I can definitely see how the dude with the pedophile mustache is probably not too good for the kids. You know what I mean?
Yes. Here's
Yeah,
funny enough, I'm actually not surprised at all because I used to run. This is gonna be really funny, but do you know what
yeah.
Habbo Hotel is?
Oh my god, don't even remind me about the fucking hotel, dude. I remember the hotel.
It's this old fucking like I think it was a flash game on the computer on like a
Yeah,
browser. But I guess the equivalence of today would be like Roblox, the closest thing.
yeah,
I would run a very similar scam
yeah,
that Mr. Beast does. I mean, I don't. Assuming he's scamming, I don't know. But the scam would be set up very similarly, where I would host a game, and there would be a winner, and obviously it was I would promise a prize. But instead, I'd be like, "Hey, bro, if you stick around, I will make it so that you win every single game, and I will
yeah,
split. You would charge people to play the game. I will
yeah.
split whatever the fuck I take from these people with you." And that was the
Oh my
scam.
god.
So to be honest, dude, it the games that he hosts seem very similar,
Yeah,
like very similar. Where
yeah.
it just, I mean, maybe it's rigged, maybe it's not, I don't know, but
It,
it just
it's
kind of run very similarly.
it wouldn't surprise me. There was a lot of
Yeah,
statements being made, especially about one of the guys who left first because he was the first one to leave. He received a free car. So yeah, so essentially, and it was his buddy, right? That's why he left first, is because he was in on it.
he left.
So
What
he's
did
like,
he
oh,
leave? The group?
where they do like the circle thing, and whoever leaves the circle,
Oh,
last one to leave gets the
oh
$1 million or
yes,
whatever.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So his buddy, the guy he knew, was the first one to leave. Sure enough, he gets a free car because the first one to leave gets a free car.
Interesting.
Do you think if someone else had stepped out of the circle first that they would have gotten the free car? Probably not. I think it's also a way to give out gifts to friends and family too,
Tax
because
write-offs
it's a
too.
tax write-offs, because
Hmm.
it's a business expense. So while it's smart in the short term, now that all this stuff has come out, it's probably going to haunt him in the long term because now he's going to have a bunch of lawsuits. Is he even going to be able to run the YouTube channel anymore? Is Google even going to allow someone like that to continue to be on the
Probably.
platform?
Google doesn't give a fuck,
Regardless,
dude. They don't care. They Google. I mean, we're gonna talk about Google a lot today too. But
yeah,
oh, I said I kept saying Google, so now my phone is lighting up because I got the new assistant.
yeah, yeah,
But uh, They don't care. They've consistently shown that they will ensure that their biggest cash cows stay on as much as possible. And it's not just them. It's same with Twitch. Same with most streaming and video companies. They will make sure that their cash cows stays on. They don't care. They
Yeah,
don't give a fuck. And I mean, like they've protected people a lot smaller than Mr. Beast. I think it's the XX Sniper, some fucking female content
um,
creator who did a bunch of copyright stuff
yeah, her.
or whatever. I don't want to
Yeah,
go into that one, but she's not the only one. There's a bunch of them have
no,
done like really fucked up stuff where they like expose people's addresses, whatever, and they
yeah.
just get to stick around. YouTube and Google is there's fucking massive hypocrites. There just are. It is what it is.
I think it's a pendulum. I think if you don't have many subscribers and you don't have many followers, and you do something like what Mr. Beast did, but on a smaller scale, I think Google probably cuts ties with you.
Oh
And
yeah,
similarly, I think if you have a shit ton of followers and a shit ton of subscribers, you are held to an even higher standard. And so when stuff like this starts happening, I do think Google will start to be like, hey, we're going to have to demonetize your video. Otherwise, we might be complicit in, violating, broadcasting rules and regulations. So I do think that's definitely a possibility here for them to not necessarily take down his videos, but to demonetize them and to simply just suck in the ad revenue from it, so to speak.
I mean, there's also a good chance he loses a lot of sponsor deals. I know a lot of his content is covered by sponsors, so I'm sure there'll
Yeah,
be
and
some punishment. But
Yeah, and that's another question is the kids that watch them have absolutely seen, these other creators like some ordinary gamers, Asmongold talking about the situation, XQC, and XQC really wants that Mr. Beast deal. I watched
yeah.
his perspective on it or whatever his video, and he was defending him. He was
Really,
fucking riding Mr. Beast faster than a McLaren.
that's
Like
so funny.
anytime like an information came out in the video that was made, I forget by who, but I'd have to look it up. But he would just be like, we have to remember, guys, we have to remember that this is stupid. This is stupid. Okay, I don't know anything about this, but this is stupid. Mr. Beast is okay. He wouldn't do this. This is a stupid allegation, and that's pretty much his argument the entire time. It was pretty funny to watch though,
I'm sure.
because he really wants that Mr. Beast deal. He really wants it. But Asmongold and some ordinary gamers, not so much. They were a little bit more, a lot more neutral about the subject and approached it with kind of what happens to Mr. Beast now, because you have a Discord issue with Ava Tyson, and then you have rigging the game shows, and then you have promoting gambling to children, which is illegal. That violates the law quite
Dude,
literally.
that one to me is not a big deal just because Twitch and YouTube do that every day. And social media is the biggest fucking gambling addiction you can find. That's just it's allowed. So, like
I mean, there's a difference between promoting it and getting revenue in by manipulating what the people are getting. You see what I mean? Like this
I
wasn't an issue of someone like gambling on roulette and then streaming it, right? Or someone being like, "Hey, you should join stake.com." That's totally different. This is a situation where he sold his own product using his own name to people that were on his stream and sold them a product that wasn't what it actually was, and lied and construed his words in such a way that people would purchase the product within a certain time
but
frame.
that's more false advertising than gambling. But I
No, like
that's definitely false advertising.
if and it, there was a statue pulled up earlier by a YouTuber I was watching who was doing a video on it, and he pulled up the actual statute for it, and it definitely violated it. But
I'm
that's
sure it
something.
does. I'm sure it
Yeah,
does. But in my opinion, it's irrelevant because social media companies are completely allowed to basically scrolling on your phone is a gambling addiction. You go for
yeah.
your dopamine
Well,
hit. That's a scram that they don't
it's more
call
of
it
an
that,
instant. Well,
but
it's more of
that's
an
what it
instant
is.
gratification. What do you think I'm gambling with reels when I see brain rot shit and
Oh,
I
are
send
you
it to
are you
that?
are you triggered because I'm fucking calling you out? Is that what's going on?
I don't.
It's a
That's the thing
gambling.
is,
It plays in the same
no,
mechanic. Yes, it is.
no,
Yes,
it
it is.
does.
It
No, it
literally
doesn't.
plays in the same mechanic in your
It
brain.
doesn't play.
Yes, it
It
does, dude. I'm
it does
telling you.
not.
Yes, it
It
does.
does not.
It's gambling. Scrolling on your phone for your dopamine video
Okay, one
hit.
second. I have a delivery. I got a delivery outside my door. 1 second.
Okay.
Just let me know. Just do a count.
All right. It's a gambling addiction. That's a
Nope.
gambling addiction.
No. Listen, I send memes all the time. This is not a gambling addiction. See?
Yes, it is, dude.
No,
It,
it's not.
you're literally hitting the fucking dude. It's the same mechanic. You're pulling the goddamn wheel thing, and you're watching the fucking thing spin, and you're
No,
hoping your numbers hit, bro. It's the same thing.
it's more like doing
It,
drugs than it is gambling.
oh, okay, my fault. My
Yeah,
bad.
it's more like crack cocaine. You get the instantaneous hit, and then you keep doing it, right? And you keep doing
Oh.
it. I keep sending Matt brain rot memes, and he keeps becoming less and less invested in humanity at this point.
Anyways,
I'm
I
actually,
wanted to jump back to Discord and the Ava Chris thing,
yeah,
just because I want to not that topic specifically, but I do think I was watching a video on this too, where they were saying how
yeah,
like the internet specifically is a unique situation where you have so many different age groups interacting with each other, and it kind of goes back to like some of our old episodes where we were talking about how the hell do you regulate these interactions.
yeah,
And it is like this awkward situation, and I can think back to plenty of situations where I've been in Discords or even in my own Discord where we had underage minors in the Discord, and we
yeah.
had fucking old ass people, and thankfully none of
Well,
that stuff really took place.
at least
But
that you know of.
right, yeah, no, I was pretty. I heavily monitored my Discord, thankfully, and I was very specific with the people we had in. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's still a situation where we had some underage kids and grown adults in a Discord, and again, thankfully, mine was a little more monitored and moderated. But it's
Yeah,
really commonplace for kids to interact with adults or adults to interact with kids on the internet. Like, it is so commonplace, and I don't even mean like chat rooms. The old school fucking predator, to catch predator videos where like they go to specific chat rooms, but like even in video games.
yeah,
They obviously they're all you can chat with anyone. Um, dude, I don't know. I just don't know how that's regulated. And the weird part was I keep thinking back to a specific situation.
yeah,
So like I was a high rank in league, and I coached a bit, and I coached kids
yeah,
along with grown adults. And it never really like crossed my mind that like that type of stuff takes place. I just fucking taught the kids how to play
yeah,
the game, and we just called it a
yeah,
day. I didn't find out until like way later that it was some sick fucked stuff that was happening in the background. But like it was also
yeah,
really commonplace for like young fans to like add my accounts and be like, oh my god, they were fangirls and fanboys, and I didn't think anything
yeah,
of it. Like it wasn't a big deal. But like that type of activity is so common that like intermingling is so freaking common. I don't know how the hell you fix that, man. I really don't. I have no idea how you regulate that. I don't know how
yeah,
you fix that. It is just so easy for these predators to like talk to kids, bro. It is so easy. It's worse now than it was before. It's like not even close, dude. I mean,
yeah,
pretty much everywhere you go on the internet, you have a mixed uh demographic.
yeah. And it's like it's not really a end all be all way to monitor it. I think that like you're gonna have like 15-year-old, guys, right, that are attracted to women that are over age, right?
Sure,
If we're putting the line at 18, and on the flip side, you're gonna have 15-year-old girls that are attracted to men that are over age, right?
sure,
So it's like you have this inverse issue of guys being attracted to women that aren't in their age bracket, and the same thing with women. But the main issue that people focus on is the women because it's not. I'm not gonna call it like a double standard or anything.
oh,
It's
it
just the
is.
reality.
You're not wrong. It is a double standard. But yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah, yeah, because the reality of it is that women are the sexually desired gender, whereas men are kind of the. I'm not gonna say like the producer or the provider type of gender, but rather just they're kind of just supposed to be pillars that just focus on progressing in life. I feel like, at least that's my perspective on it. I think everyone
There's
has, yeah,
there's a there's a lot of studies done on this in
yeah,
terms of like why this type of thing happens. Um,
yeah,
and biologically speaking, there's a lot of natural, like, inherent mechanisms and why men are attracted to younger women, and
Yeah.
fertility is obviously one of them. And it's not like it's
Yeah.
not. I don't even want to say men, but males in pretty much most species. That's it. Just is what it is, guys. Like
Yeah.
it's just very natural, and
Yeah.
sometimes it catches me off guard. I don't. Hopefully, this person isn't watching, and hopefully, they don't remember this interaction. But I remember I was sitting with Ian one time,
Mm.
um, and not meowing cat Ian, but Ian, brother
Yeah.
Ian.
Yeah. I know you're talking about.
And
Yeah.
we had a third friend there, and we were talking about sexual preferences, and he had mentioned that he liked them like 18, and he's
Yeah.
our age, which
Yeah.
like me and Ian kind of snapped immediately, and we're like, whoa, like that's crazy, but it's a really common take. It
Yeah.
really is. It's a super common take, and it's not like we're 27, he's 20, or I was 27, he's 25. I think the person who said it's like 26, and
Yeah.
his take, that's a super common take. It's like, oh yeah, 18. Why? Because it's legal, and that's the youngest you could go. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't want to play light of it, but like that's a super common thing across the globe, and there's a very natural precedence for it. I think it's important to like inform people about, because that way that like that's what's going on.
Yeah.
And then as
I
far as the female thing, there's one for that too, where again it's like you're right, like women kind of look for the person who can provide for them, and naturally that's going
Yeah.
to be a male that's a little older.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
yeah.
And in terms of like the whole like the age of consent thing, it's like I do feel like it is bizarre to desire someone that is like a certain age below you, right? Same thing with the inverse, desiring someone who's like 20 years older than you. Definitely a very bizarre thing, right? But
I don't
and
know if
and
it
it,
is bizarre. What do you mean by bizarre? Like it's not normal?
I mean it's obviously not normal, right? It's not. Well, I mean,
I
yeah, it's
don't
obviously not
know
normal.
personally. I don't know. It's surprisingly common.
Like
I don't know what the numbers on it are, but sorry, keep
I
going.
would not, yeah, I would not date a woman that is 40 years old, right?
Well,
Not because she's 40 years old, but because there's 13 years of experience she has on me.
but would you
See what
date
I mean?
someone younger?
I mean, it depends on how much younger, you know what
Okay,
I
so
mean?
like let's say you're 50. Would you date someone who's 30?
Probably not. I'd 40 would probably be my bottom line, if I'm being
Okay, so a
honest.
10-year gap is still a decent amount, I suppose.
Yeah.
What if you were 30? Would you date someone who's 20?
Maybe. I would probably say they'd have to be 22 or 23,
And when you were
personally.
20, would you be okay with dating someone who's 30?
No, probably not.
You're so much faster at answering the upwards age gap versus the downwards one, which I
Yeah.
think is kind of natural and normal for men. But I think
Yeah.
there would be an interesting opposite effect when you ask women the same question. Obviously, I agree with you that like I think it's better to just date someone closer to your age, and it just feels
Yeah.
more normal.
Yeah, it feels like I don't know. Like for me, it's like when you date someone that's within like 3 to 4 years, tops. It's like okay, this person has experienced the same kinds of things I have, so we have more in common. They're at the same level roughly as maturity as I am,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I just feel like it makes more
Maturity's
sense.
it's attractive, not like
It's
too much,
no,
like in age, but
yeah,
yeah,
and also that there's things where it's like it gets too overly ambiguous. People focus too like 19-year-old
yeah,
dating a 17-year-old isn't a big deal, right? It's 2 years. It's 2 year difference. They're both pretty much past puberty at this point, more than likely. It's there's no issue with it. It's 19 and 17 is totally fine. There'll be people that will like try and blow it out of proportion when an 18-year-old is dating like a 16-year-old, right? One of them is at the age of consent,
oh
the other
yeah.
one isn't. Yeah, and I'm sure there have been people that have been arrested over that 2 year age difference. You know what I mean?
There's
Where they've
not.
been
It's not.
questioned.
God, there's a lot of sub laws on it, but basically, in general, across the U.S., the age of consent is technically 16 up until their partner is above the age of 23, and there's variations on that across the board.
Yeah,
So something Sneeko said was that like it's not actually 18. That's a Hollywood myth. He's kind of correct. It's
yeah,
18 for anyone at any age above. However,
yeah,
it's 16, and then there's like a limit. It's like I
Yeah.
think it's up to 23 for the most part, but there's variations on the law pretty much across the United States. Every state's going to be a
Yes.
little different.
Yeah. So the law views the 7 year age difference is probably the maximum that they will allow.
Yeah.
And it maybe it should be lower. I feel like I don't know. Maybe it should be 21, like
I
5
was
years.
surprised it was 23 to be honest with you. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting. It's
It's a little bit too high.
a little larger than I thought it would
Yeah.
be. And then there's like, there's again, there are other laws. Whereas if the person is, if they dated before the person who's over 18 was
Yeah.
over 18, it's fine. Like there's all kinds of variations on it, which is pretty much why none of these people go prosecuted, or get
Yeah.
prosecuted, because like, it's not technically illegal.
Yeah. It's just it's out of societal norms for sure. That's I think that's the main perspective
Yeah.
on it.
But like one of the things that really bothered me, and this happened, I think it was, I I actually think it was earlier this year. I think it was something we talked about on the show. Like the UN
Yeah.
came out, and so the US has a couple of policies that they kind of push when they're working with um, other countries, mostly third world
Yeah.
countries, specifically in like Africa and the Middle East and Asia. And a lot of them have to do with human rights or like kind of liberal ideology. Obviously, the
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
one now is like trans rights um, in Africa and just LGBT, of course. But one of them was pushing for age of consent rights because,
Yeah.
to be honest, actually most of the world is at like 14. And the
Yeah.
UN pretty much put out a statement that was like it's culturally, it's acceptable for countries to hold the age of consent at 14 because it's like a cultural normality in those
Yeah.
countries. And I thought
Yeah.
that was fucking wild, bro. I thought that was crazy. You would not believe how many countries like stand behind that. It's pretty much a lot of South America. It's a lot of Africa. It's a lot of it's India.
Yeah.
It's a surprising amount of countries. Only recently Japan moved up from 14 to
Yeah.
16. So I don't know, dude. That's like it's such a fucking can of worms.
I mean, it is, and the reality of it is, you're not going to really be able to convince other countries to change that at all without, getting to that point of, oh, well, it's a cultural thing or it's a religious thing. You know what I mean? So you're not really ever going to be able to change that.
I still think we
And
should try personally. I like that the U.S. I like the U.S. kind of pressures other countries. I know this is not a very
yeah,
Republican or right wing viewpoint, but I actually like that the U.S. pressures other countries to kind of like catch up
yeah,
in some of these liberal philosophies. Because like, look, you don't have to agree with the viewpoints, but I mean, you can take gay marriage, right? That's like an easy one
yeah,
that I
yeah,
think most people kind of agree with gay marriage that like it should be
yeah,
acceptable, and that one is not really. It's again, yeah, I think it would surprise a lot of Americans to know that that's not widely accepted in most of the world. It's not.
yeah,
It's not widely accepted in Africa. It's not widely accepted in Asia, and it's still something that like the U.S. has to kind of hardline. Like, hey, we'll help you build up your infrastructure, but we
yeah.
really need you to work on opening up your laws here. Sorry. No, no, you look like you're about to say something. I kind of cut you off.
Well, no, it's like, and I kind of have this conspiracy theory take on the age of consent in a lot of countries, and I think the reason they keep it so low is because if they don't, they know if they don't, then people aren't going to reproduce as much. I feel like that's a big part of it.
That was Sneako's comment. He
Yeah,
was saying that like
yeah,
it's better to keep it low. That way they get married. Females get married sooner. They're more fertile and blah 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 blah. That was kind of his take too. Not to like
yeah,
mix you in with him, but you
yeah,
know
yeah. Yeah, no, and I don't. Everyone's gonna have. There are people that are gonna have similar takes to other people, even though they don't necessarily agree on a general level, right?
yeah.
But that's just my perspective on it. Is the reason they keep it low is for to keep their population high. That the way they always have people to work in the economy, right?
Um, I don't know. I don't think it's working. If that is the reason, there's
Well, it's
still
working for China. It hasn't
no,
been working for Japan.
China has having population problems too. They're not having babies. Asia has the problem.
Well,
Uh,
I think that's a separate. I think that's because they had an abortion ban or an abortion enforcement on females for a while before like the last 10 years. I want to say, and it
they had
was
an
like
abortion ban, as in you
no,
couldn't
no,
have an abortion.
they would abort female fetuses.
They're having a population problem
Yeah,
now. They weren't,
yeah,
and that abortion thing wasn't legal. The males, they were just killing their babies. By the way, They were just flat out killing their babies. The baby would come out if it was a female. You're talking about the one child policy.
Yeah, one child
They
policy.
there it was. I don't know if they were having abortions, medically, like doctor
Yeah.
wise, but I do they were just straight up killing their female babies,
Yeah.
the parents,
Yeah.
because males were more valuable, and so now they have a population gap, and they're
Yeah.
having uh their
Yeah.
fertility rate is below the line. But that's a
I think
common.
that's a direct result. I honestly think that's the direct
But
result
it's
of
also
it.
a problem in Japan. It's also a problem in most of the EU. Like it's a problem across the board. So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't. Again, these countries, even with lower, maybe you could be right. That could still be
Yeah.
why, but like I don't know. It's not consistent with the results. So
No, and maybe it's only the case for Asian countries because I think the Middle East is even lower, and they make up like a billion people, like more than Chinese. I think.
Middle East,
Yeah, the
all of
Middle
it.
East Muslims. Yeah,
I'm not sure,
it's
to
like
be
a.
honest.
I think.
It might be an equal number.
Let me look it up real quick.
You
I
have
think there's more Muslims than there are Chinese. 1.8 billion or more Muslim. So it
okay.
works for
So
them, right? But if I search up amount of Chinese,
I think there are other.
1.41.
The combination is probably a little
Yeah,
more because in the Middle East, not only is the age of consent, I don't even know if they have an age of consent, to be honest with you, but I mean, they flat out, like, it's all arranged marriage. Women can't work, they can't do anything. Like, they're fucking slaves, and not in all those
yeah.
countries. Actually, Saudi Arabia recently made it slightly more okay for women to dress, uh,
Modesty.
a little more casually, I guess, would be
Yeah,
the case. They're really pushing to be more, um, I
Americanized.
Americanized. Yeah, I don't like
Yeah.
using that word, but
No, because Americanized can also mean retarded.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So, um, I don't know. I think it's a combination of things going on, but
yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
age
I
of
don't know.
consent.
I feel like the results are showing that having a lower age of consent allows you to have more population,
But
have a higher
arguably,
population.
only in the Middle East is that working, and maybe
Well, I
Africa.
don't know. I don't know. It says the Chinese make up about 1.41 billion, so they're only about 400 million behind Muslims.
Yeah, but they're currently having a fertility rate problem when they're not having babies. Currently, it's not
Oh
about like
yeah, their population growth is negative
yes,
0.15%.
yes,
So they are having an issue with that.
yes,
India's population is expected to be 660 million larger than China's by 2100.
yeah,
That's
and
pretty nutty.
yeah, yep, yep, yep. So I don't agree. I think it's different. There's too many like inconsistent factors
I think it's
going
because
on.
of Genshin Impact.
You think that's why they're not having babies?
Yes, because men don't need women anymore. They have Genshin Impact waifus.
I don't know. Maybe it's like I
It's
don't know.
it's literally the most popular mobile game in China, and everyone in China owns a mobile phone.
They also very heavily limit uh
Their game time.
their game time. So
So
I
yeah,
don't
they have to squeak out 30
know.
minutes, with their waifu on Genshin Impact. I don't even think they limit the game time. I think they just make it so that you don't earn resources after a certain amount of time played per day or something like that. So you can still play, you just won't get anything out of it.
That shit's so crazy to me.
I mean, yeah, I mean when you see like a growth rate of negative 0.15%, I
No,
mean, I can understand. I can
I'm a
understand.
little I'm a little scared of what China does with the information, dude. If China can implement something like the one child policy, which is seen as like pretty barbaric, to be honest with you, and
Yeah.
it led to some really fucked up stuff, guys. A lot of that stuff went really. I mean, flat out, dude. Parents were
Yeah.
having babies. If it was a female, they were taking like needles, and, like sewing needles, and they would fucking stick that shit into the infant's head to kill the baby. They would dump bodies. Like it was disgusting stuff going on there. Like the way China solves problems sometimes is fucking wild, dude. And I'm
It's
a little
barbaric, yeah.
yeah, I'm a little worried about how if that problem persists for them, what kind of
Yeah.
solutions they put in place. Hopefully, they just kind of stick to some monetary solutions that it looks like what the rest of the world is planning on using. But oh my god, dude. Oh,
Yeah, it says the United States is at 341 million currently, which is actually pretty low, even though it's the third most populated country in the world. Considering the size of America, though, the people per square mile is 96.
it's a true story. The U.S.'s fertility rate actually
Yeah,
stagnated in the 70s, I believe, and we've only been making up the population, the fertility gap by importing
yeah.
people. True story.
That's crazy.
Isn't that wild? Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know that. But yeah, the U.S. fertility rate actually stagnated. I think it was in the 70s or 80s, and
Yeah.
literally the only reason we maintain population and like growth is because we have great immigration policy. We let in like 500,000 people a year. So
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I would just like to move to Japan, just like go to Okinawa,
it's pretty
where
cheap
there's like
right
hardly
now.
anyone there. Yeah, I just like sell everything, just move to Japan, live in Okinawa, have like a bunch of Japanese friends, drink some sake, eat some ramen on the weekends.
Okinawa is one of
Uh,
the most densely populated
Not the places
cities.
where it's expensive, not the places near the beach.
Mm.
Go near the beach. Yeah, I mean if you can afford the property over there, then yeah, it's also very peaceful over there, very quiet. No one steals anything. Not a whole lot of no third worlders in the country really, at least not in the quiet places.
Yeah, I
I
mean
don't know.
it's I don't know. But we do have some Middle Eastern news to cover. I know it's
Ooh,
everyone's favorite, but Israel has officially killed Hamas's leader. I don't know his name. I don't really care much for it.
good job, Israel. Good job.
So there's controversy behind it because they did it within Iran's borders, and they did it after he attended the inauguration of Iran's new president. So I'll tell you as much information as I know, just from what I can dig up, because there's a lot of mystery here. It, they know it was done with a missile. They
Yeah.
don't know where it was fired from. They think it was fired from outside the territory. So the rumor is that it's either a submarine, or it was an F-35 from outside Iran's borders. But they killed
Well, it sounds
Hamas's.
to yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. It sounds to me like he just got checkmated.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what it sounds like.
oh yeah,
They
oh
took the
yeah.
king. They were like the king. Oh no, we're skipping check. We're going straight to checkmate, buddy. You're done.
Yeah, so they killed the Hamas's leader. Whew, it's a big deal. It's a big deal
Yeah,
because he's been the number one. He's been pretty much the number one target for Israel for quite a while now, for obvious reasons.
yeah,
However, Iran is unhappy. They
yeah,
killed a friend of theirs, a friend, whatever,
yeah,
a proxy on their
yeah.
territory. They've vowed revenge. Um,
Well,
they seem pretty pissed from what I can tell. I don't know what
it
they're going to do, but sure, go ahead.
it doesn't seem like much has changed. We're pissed. They
I
were
know.
pissed before. Nothing's changed. We're gonna kill you guys. What? So what's changed? Anything new? No, we're gonna beat the shit out of you guys. Oh, so nothing new. Okay, great. Good to hear. See you next weekend.
Yeah, so I mean, this video is being recorded Wednesday, the
Yeah,
31st. It goes out Monday. I suspect something will happen between then. If it's
yeah,
really big, we'll just cover it. But
yeah,
I mean, it's another one of those situations where like you're kind of right where nothing's changed. I kind of hope nothing changes, but
yeah.
the last time we did have something like this, we had that whole fucking episode where Iran shot a bunch of ballistic missiles and drones and shit at Israel. Um, I
Doesn't
don't
matter.
know.
Israel has the Iron Dome, paid for by the American taxpayer. They don't take any
It's true.
damage.
We do actually
They literally
cover a
take zero
large part
damage.
of the Iron Dome. We cover a lot of that. True story. We cover the interceptors. We make those interceptors. We um we pay for that shit. So
Yeah, so they're not gonna take any damage. They can choose many ballistic missiles as they want. Israel will take no damage.
so
Literally, it's yeah,
I disagree. I don't know what's been going on, but there have been two attacks on Israel now that have actually done damage. And I want oh one of them was a drone attack. I don't know if we
yeah.
covered this, but it was a drone attack. It hit a skyrise building, actually really close to the U.S. embassy. It ended up killing a man.
Wow.
I don't know if it was more people, but dude, Israel went fucking insane and attacked five. They attacked within five countries at one time, bro. They fucking
Yeah,
flew all the way down south, bombed the shit out of a port in Yemen.
yeah,
Absolutely fucking throttled the port. You can find the image online, dude. I mean,
yeah.
the
Oh,
whole
I saw
ass.
that. Yeah,
You saw that shit, dude? The
yeah.
whole ass port was on fire, dude.
Why did they blow it up?
Oh, because they used it to deliver oil, so they pretty much hurt them in the pit.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah. So
oh, I see.
yeah,
That
they
makes sense.
fucking hit him in the wallet. That's like the current next step for Israel in the Middle East. If you want to like punish a Middle Eastern country, you just go and hit their oil
Yeah,
factories. So They did that
That's
shit
smart.
in Yemen. They attacked bases in Iraq and Syria. They attacked Lebanon, which apparently is, that's nothing new. That's just a fucking common
Yeah.
everyday thing. But yeah, Israel was pissed. They fucking did this massive attack, attacked 5 countries at one time, basically. So,
Wow.
dude, that's not even the end of it. So, just recently, I believe it was Lebanon. Yes, it was Lebanon, or Hezbollah, which is a de facto kind of government in
Yeah.
Lebanon. Oh, dude, what a mess. So I can only say rumors because at this point the facts are so fucking muddled, and I don't know if it's like
Yeah.
just pushed down or what. But we don't get any of the information anymore. Um, so I'll just take everything I say here with a grain of salt. But here the rumor is Israel attacked a playground in Gaza, killed a bunch of kids, and in retaliation, Hezbollah did the same thing. They fired a missile. Some are saying it was an accident during a missile barrage. I don't fucking know. But anyways, the result was some children on a soccer field, I believe, got hit with a missile and
Yeah.
they are a rocket, and a lot of them died. It was pretty bad. In return, Israel fucking killed the Hezbollah second in command in Beirut, which is their capital. Um,
Took their queen.
Yeah, fucking dude, even they fucking murked him. They did this. I think it was back to back. By the way, they killed the Hamas leader and Hezbollah's second in command, pretty much back to back. Uh,
Well, why did they just do that before they bombed the soccer field?
why didn't they do
I
it
mean,
before? Oh, because I mean the I.
at this point, it's kind of just been like an all-out brawl, pretty much, right? Why
It's
not just
not.
kill
It's
them?
not an all-out brawl, dude. And that's something I realized recently. So they haven't
Yeah.
done it because he was staying in Beirut, and Beirut's
Yeah.
the capital. So I mean, it would basically be like if the U.S. was like, "Oh, fuck you, um, Shoigu, or I don't. He's no longer the defense minister of Russia. But basically, imagine that we just went and flew over Russia and then killed their defense secretary. Like that would be insane, right?
Yeah, that would be fucking
Right. So
insane.
Israel, yeah. So Israel didn't want to do that, and
Yeah.
until a couple days ago, and then they fucking did that. So they basically
Yeah.
flew a plane. I think it was a plane over Beirut, which is their capital, and fucking killed the second in command. They killed civilians too, like some women and children died.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, like the gloves are slowly coming off, which is why I kind of keep bringing. I know a lot of people fucking don't want to hear about it, but like, dude, they are slowly coming off here. Like it is slowly becoming we don't give a fuck mode. And at the start of
Yeah.
this, I've been like really critical of everybody and not understanding how war plays out. Obviously, a lot of people are like war crimes, war crimes. It's kind of just war, bro. To be honest with you, like
Yeah.
that's just kind of what happens. Like you just end up killing civilians, and so I've been kind of like mocking people, like, oh, you just don't know how war works. But like, dude, we're probably not even 25% of the way to like total war in that region yet. And yet,
Yeah.
I'm even like, dude, this is fucked up, bro. Like,
Yeah.
this shit is fucked up, dude.
Well, yeah.
Sorry, go
War is
ahead.
all about who has the most fragile ego, right? Who has the most fragile
Whew.
ego? It's a fragile ego competition. Oh, someone that, is, part of a rebel organization bombed and killed some of your civilians. So you killed some of our civilians. Well, now we're going to retaliate because our ego has been hurt. Listen, sometimes you just got to take it on the chin and be like, hey, that rebel organization should have done that. You shouldn't have done that either. You should only condemn. At the point you start hitting back, when it's not like straight up war, at that point you're creating war. You're literally creating it because of your fragile ego. And it's like, ditch the ego, dude. Ditch the ego. You're gonna get more people killed if you don't.
There's an
And I have a
analyst. Sorry,
yeah,
I'll let you finish
and
your thought,
and
and
I
then
have a
I'll.
feeling the countries in the Middle East, like Iran, are gonna end up going down the ego route. They're gonna be like, we have to retaliate. This is an attack on us. We have to retaliate, otherwise we look weak. And it's gonna keep going back and forth. And then Israel's gonna be like, this is an attack on us. It's gonna make us look weak if we don't retaliate. So they're just gonna go back and forth until it creates an all-out brawl. That's my opinion.
No, I was watching a video earlier. It's a news channel, and they had an analyst on who literally said the same thing you're saying, where it was like,
Yeah.
at any point in history, normally we're already pretty much past the line where two countries just kind of like declare war at each other and go crazy. And he was saying that like in substitution of that, there's an ego fight going on. He said basically the same thing that you said. It's just like
Yeah.
everyone's just really just trying to save face. Nobody really wants a war, but it in like a metaphysical way, we're pretty much already there. Um,
Yeah.
I suspect that this is pretty bad, to be honest with you. I think if Israel attacked Hezbollah, an important member of Hezbollah, which is a military group to their north, and they attacked someone important to Iran at the same time, that kind of gives means for them to coordinate their next attack. They kind of did the first time when they had that huge missile barrage thing that went down. This is
Yeah,
only more fuel for the fire. People are obviously very critical of Israel at this point. I think Israel
yeah,
is already they're 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 entering the we aren't fucking around anymore mode. They're pretty
yeah,
much like the second a civilian dies or one of their military dies, they just fucking go all in at this point. They're just
yeah,
pissed. Like they don't care. They're just seeing full red. They've been trying to send the message like, hey bro, fucking stop. And if you don't stop, we'll fuck you up. That's been the message they're trying to send.
yeah,
Unfortunately, that's also the message the enemy wants to send. And so
yeah.
they're both all of them are starting to get really tunneled in on just fucking up the other person, and all of those like safety guidelines of, well, what will our allies think, or what will the UN think, or how is this going to pay out in the international playing field? That's slowly deteriorating, and they're not caring anymore. And I think this will be a
See,
big one. Sorry, go ahead.
and the thing is, like, you need to have countries that are breaking this up. You need to have the big people step in and break it up, but they aren't doing that. Why? Because China wants war and Russia wants war. China wants war so they can get access to Taiwan. Russia wants war so they can get access to Ukraine. And the Middle East is just pissed off and wants to fight. And China and Russia are going to use the Middle East as an excuse, as a false flag, to invade Taiwan and Ukraine, and in a much bigger scale than we've seen before.
I agree. And
Yeah,
to back your point, both China and not China, Xi Jinping and Putin and a third surprise member who I'll say here
yeah,
in a second. Both came out. All
yeah,
of them came out in support of the Hamas leader. Believe it or not,
yeah.
they all came out
No
and were like, "Oh,
shocker.
that's a good friend. Like, oh, you just killed a dude that we
Yeah.
kind of agree with." And so the third party is Turkey's president Erdogan.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
No,
he
not Turkey.
and last week he actually said, kind of like surprisingly, I don't know where the fuck this came out of, but he said that he would invade Israel.
Oh my God.
Okay, so
No.
to like
No.
to kind of like cut back some, Erdogan, the president of Turkey, I think he's the president. He's kind of
Yeah.
an idiot, and he'll just say whatever he thinks will make him popular. He really holds on to leadership by appealing to Muslim majority. Um, so again, take this with a grain of salt, but he did say that, and when the Hamas leader died in the bombing, he came out in support of him. So I mean, like, that's kind of crazy. I'll put things in perspective for us. So as Americans, right, like Saddam Hussein will probably be an Osama bin Laden. Like these are two people that we hated a lot. Like they were considered enemy number one. Just
Yeah.
imagine if the UK came out and said, "Oh my God, you killed Osama bin Laden. That's a good friend of ours." Like that would be insane, right? Like that would be
Yeah.
crazy. So you have to think of it from Israel's perspective, where like, dude, that's kind of what they're hearing. They're
Yeah.
hearing that shit. They're hearing that shit from Russia, from
Yeah.
China, from Turkey. They're hearing that shit, bro. They're not gonna be happy with hearing that, dude. I wouldn't be it.
No.
So, eh, I still think war is coming, bro. I still think it's coming. I think
The
Israel's
only
already in that fucking mindset. They're
Europe needs to stop fucking around in the British sewers and do something. They're in the sewers like the Rat Man. They're sitting in there eating the garbage in the sewers. What are you doing? Get out of the you schizophrenic rats. Get out of the sewers. Come up get out of the sewers. Get out of the sewers. Come up onto the streets. Talk to the people. The people are up here. America is up here. The Middle East is up here. China's up here. Russia's up here. Get out of the sewers. What are you people doing? You're still complaining about Brexit or EU. Who cares? Stop. Stop. Stop messing around the UN. You guys are jacking off in the restrooms and then you're debating in the UN Council meetings. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Literally just get out of the sewers. I'm tired of hearing about you guys. Europe has fallen so far. It's not even funny at this point.
they've
And the thing
become.
with
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. And the thing with the Olympics, with the stupid Last Supper thing, with the drag queens, that's an American thing. Stop trying to steal our culture, France. We're supposed to be the assholes, not you guys.
Dude. Like, unfortunately, when it comes to the EU, they've said this themselves. They've just become very reliant on both the U.S. and China. they're really reliant on the U.S., China, and Russia. They were pretty much
Yeah.
reliant on the U.S. for new technologies. They were reliant on Russia for old fossil fuels, and they were reliant on China for green energy. They're really fucked, to be honest with you. The
Yeah.
EU's just fucked. They're so fucked.
Yeah.
They just can never really agree on anything, and so their only solution is okay. Well, we just have to outsource it. Like these are things that you want to develop in house, right? You want to be energy dependent. You want to be technologically independent and keep up. And unfortunately, they're just not because they can't really decide on where to make this stuff, who should pay for it, and it's Germany, France, and the UK's fault. They just can't fucking agree on anything.
No.
They all want it to be built within their borders. They want their people to get paid for it. They want their ideas to be the ones leading the way, and they can't agree. So what they just end up doing is they end up relying on other countries. And to further that point is they were trying to put in place a missile defense system similar to the Iron Dome, and
Yeah.
they couldn't agree on who's going to make it and who's going to fund it. And so what they do? Oh, well, they're just going to buy the Patriot missile system, which is American made, and that's just
Yeah.
been their solution to everything. And so now they're just completely reliant on all these other countries. They got fucked up with Russia. They've had to cut that off. They're really trying to cut off from China, even though it's gone it's gone kind of under the radar because they know that that shit's incoming. Um,
Yeah.
and they're really sensitive about the U.S. right now because we're on this hinge of like, bro, we're tired of you, EU. We're tired of supporting you. We don't want to fucking do this shit anymore. And so they're still really relying on us. It's just like they really can't have an opinion on the Middle East. They've said some things like Germany has, been trying to defend Israel in the international court, but really they can't do anything more than that. Uh,
No.
France has always kind of supported Palestine, but they've taken a step back. They really haven't been made much comments.
I hate France. I hate France. I'm sorry. I just had to say I hate France. I've never liked France. The last time France was good in any aspect whatsoever was when Napoleon Bonaparte was alive. And guess what they did to Napoleon? They exiled him to an island.
Three
Good job,
times,
France.
dude.
The one good Frenchman, and you get rid of him. Yeah, yeah. Talk about dropping the ball. But yeah, sorry.
I'll say this. I admire the French for trying to be as independent as possible. Of all the EU countries, they really do try their best to be independent, and it's actually really funny. But yeah, I don't know. they're just
Yeah,
they're just so they're the French are the closest thing we get to modern anarchy. They really are. They're the
yeah.
closest thing we'll ever get to a modern civilization that is like somewhat
The
anarchist.
only way the only way they can be saved is if they take Napoleon's uniform from the museum, give it to Macron, tell him to go up on stage, tell the people that there is going to be a revolution, and then do something. I don't know. Just do anything. Just sit instead of sitting there doing drag queens at the Last Supper. No one cares. You people are weird. You people are weirdos. Just stop it.
Oh God. And the other thing is
God
too
hate
is
France.
I'm not a fan either. I hate their politics. I think they fucking
Yeah,
make zero sense.
yeah.
But
They're so dumb. They're so dumb.
even nobody really wants to touch the Middle Eastern thing at all. Nobody. I mean, the only
No.
countries that do is the U.S. who did this thing. Here's how I know an attack is going to happen because before the last attack that Iran and Hezbollah did on Iran or Israel together, the U.S. had put out a statement that said, "Oh yeah, by the way, you probably remember this. You were there. Oh, by the way, we were not related in this attack at all. We had nothing to do with it. Do you remember that shit?"
Yeah. What a weird thing to say,
What
right?
a weird thing to say, right, dude? They said that shit again, bro. They said that shit again, dude. Israel
Oh my.
attacked Hezbollah and Iran at the same time, and immediately America was like, "Oh yeah, that we had nothing to do with that. We had no planning in that. We did not take
Oh
part in
my
this."
God. Let me look this shit up.
Uh,
What the fuck?
they said it immediately, dude. They're like, "Yeah, we had nothing to do with this whatsoever."
We had nothing to do with this whatsoever. Oh
Oh
my
God.
God.
I believe
That's insane.
Secretary Lloyd Austin. He said that shit. But yeah. So
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
another issue that we have. We don't even have a president right now.
yeah. Uh, Dude,
God.
where is our old where's Grandpa, bro? Where's
Where's
Grandpa?
Grandpa?
Why is
I mean,
Grandpa not doing
honestly,
what?
I
Where's
think
Grandpa?
I honestly don't even think he's alive anymore at this point.
I want to guess
Because
the current
they showed a
conspiracy
video of
theory.
him recently where he was like standing next to
Ugh,
one of his cabinet members, and he was
he grew
like
six
several
feet
inches
or six
taller.
inches.
So I literally think they just got like a stunt double or some shit at this point. I think he's eating ice cream with the fishes as we speak, somewhere in like
Yeah.
the presidential cemetery. He's eating
Kamala,
ice.
Kamala, like I mean, she's busy campaigning, but like her campaign
Yeah.
kind of acts like a current presidency, to be honest with you. And I'm not criticizing it. Like, I think
No.
it's good on her part to kind of like start taking credit for a lot of the stuff happening right now in terms of presidency, or
Yeah.
at least all the good stuff, and then just make
Yeah.
Biden take all the bad stuff. It's a pretty good play. But yeah, I mean, like, where's Grandpa, bro? Like, we're back in the situation where the Middle East is about to be on fire. Israel's about to take heat. What I know is we actually have boats on the way again to Lebanon, so
Yeah.
they're in the water. So like clearly some orders are going down. But yeah, where's Grandpa,
Yeah.
bro? Where the fuck is Grandpa
Maybe
when you
that's the
need
reason
him?
why Ryan isn't here.
Oh
That might
yeah,
be why.
I mean, who
But
knows? I know what
but
he'd
it's like,
say. Banana bread.
oh yeah, yeah. He'd say banana bread. Yeah.
Banana bread.
Fucking dumbass. He'd like to say. But I honestly, I'll be voting for Kamala.
Shut your
I don't want
stupid
people.
ass up.
I don't want people to think I'm gay or anything. I don't want to vote for an old guy.
What?
People think I'm gay. I'm
People will
voting for
think you're
Kamala.
more gay voting for Kamala than not for Kamala, dude. What the
No,
hell are you
listen, dude.
on?
She's a female. I have to vote for her. I don't want people to think I'm gay or anything. I have insecurities or something. I don't know.
Do you know what's so funny to me? And again, I think
What?
it's fine if you if you like her policies. She's such a commie. She's a commie,
Maybe.
dude. She's a socialist. She's a commie. She's the
Don't
most.
you insult my waifu.
I'm not insulting her. If I call her a commie because her policies are communistic, and you think that is an insult, that has more to do with you than me. Okay? Plenty of people like communism.
Yeah.
They're. I don't think they're all very bright, but hey, like,
Listen.
it's fine. If you like that shit, dude, fine, go vote for her, bro. But she's clearly a commie. Like, what
Listen. I don't mind
the
a little bit of
hell?
communism here and there. Listen, I don't mind a little bit of communism.
There's a little dash of socialism in every Western economy.
Because I don't care. Because communism means I get more. Because I'm on the lower income bracket. If you're on the
Ah,
higher income bracket, I have to worry. Like if you're like upper middle class, like lower upper class,
pretty much if you're in
you
the
should
middle
be.
class up, it doesn't matter which part. If you're middle class up, yeah, goodbye, buddy.
I would say upper middle, maybe middle, but not lower middle. I think lower middle you'd probably be in the fine at like a decent income bracket where you're not gonna be affected. But
Maybe.
me, I get stuff. I get stuff for free. I don't mind communism. I don't care.
I care.
You
I
care?
care. I care, dude. I care so much about it. I really do. I think it's wild that Kamala
Because the
can
thing
go
is,
up
it'll
there.
only be temporary communism. It won't be permanent communism because there's no such thing as permanent communism. Communism falls apart after like a couple centuries.
Cuba and Vietnam are technically the only two true communistic countries.
And both of them have the hottest baddies on the planet. Let's be real here, Doug. Let's be
You
real
might
here.
okay, I'll say this, bro. You might be a little right about that shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
You might be right
Yep.
about that there. That is true. Um
Yep.
so I mean like whatever. We have Venezuela
When
going
was the
on.
last time you heard anyone be like, "Hey, man, you want to pick up some baddies?" Like, yeah, what country you want to go to? Let's go to fucking Iceland.
Iceland's got some baddies, bro. What you want? Yes, they
Nope,
do.
not
Yes,
anymore.
they
Not
do.
anymore. Have you seen a picture of Iceland recently?
The country, yeah, it's mostly covered in ice.
No, no,
Oh no,
that's
sorry, Iceland.
Greenland.
Iceland is green. Sorry.
Okay, never mind. They do have some baddies in Iceland, but okay,
Yeah,
for example, like Mexico. You gonna go from Mexico to Mexico for baddies?
I've only ever seen pretty women, to be honest with you, when like looking at other countries. I don't know.
Maybe is that just like internet fatigue?
Yeah, I
Is
think
that just a part of internet fatigue?
it's their best interest. I think to put their best woman's foot forward. You know what I mean?
Probably.
Like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So
Maybe
I don't know.
America's just the ugliest country in the world.
Yeah, maybe it's just us, dude. Maybe we're
Yeah,
just
honestly,
ugly.
because I think about other countries and I'm like, I can't. Oh wait, no, India.
I'm not gonna make a
Sorry.
comment. I'm not gonna make a comment.
Sorry, like I just remembered India still exists and they have like the dirtiest streets on the planet. So
I
yeah, never
won't
mind.
comment. I won't comment.
I
Oh
mean,
my
it's
god.
like no matter what country you go to, I feel like they all say that India is the dirtiest, and I feel like that's for good
Where,
reason.
dude? I've noticed. I talked about this earlier with somebody, but like I've noticed a lot of hatred towards India is like spawning kind of out of nowhere. Like, it's becoming very meta to just hate on India. What the fuck
Oh
is
yeah,
up
no,
with
I'm
that?
correct. I'm literally correct. According to IQ Air, Bangladesh is the most polluted country in the world in 2023.
Is
with an annual average PM 2.5 concentration of 79.9 micrograms per cubic meter of air.
is
PM 2.5
Bangladesh
refers,
India? I don't.
yes,
Really?
yes, it's part of India. Refers to fine particles that are 2.5 micrometers or less in diameter. When inhaled, PM 2.5 can travel deep into lung tissues and enter the bloodstream and has been linked to many health issues. Bangladesh's pollution is primarily caused by human activities such as household emissions, industrial effluents, agricultural runoff, persistent traffic, construction activities, industrial fumes, especially from brick kilns. Other polluted countries include Pakistan, India, Tajikistan, Burkina, Iraq, United Arab Emirates, Nepal, Egypt, and Congo.
I'm surprised Iraq, but that's
I'm not too
interesting.
surprised about Iraq. They because I think they're still kind of like in a little industrial era. I do think it's I mean, I guess Bangladesh is its own country, but I feel like
Okay,
it's
I
still
thought it
part of
was its
India.
own country. They're in the middle of a
I no,
civil war, dude.
yeah. I mean, and it's not really a surprise for the most part. Yeah. Yeah, Bangladesh, it's listen, India is second, so I was kind of close. It's not the dirtiest country in the world, but close.
Fair enough.
But at least we don't live in these countries, right? I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, I mean, as if you had a choice. I mean, I guess you could move.
Why would I move there though?
I
I'd
know.
rather go
I know. I'm just saying
I'd
it's
rather go
kind
to
of.
Cuba or Vietnam, right?
I'm just saying it's like an RNG gap, you know. Like, you
Yeah.
just kind of are born. But
Yeah, I mean, it is a lot of it is RNG. You could have just been born as like a Chinese female in like 2003 and just gotten fucking and that was it. There you go. That was your one chance, and you blew it by being born the wrong gender.
in other news, we also have uh a civil war happening in Venezuela right now. Hell yeah, dude! Round fucking 3. Let's go. So, oh wait, hold on. I'll tell you my favorite part about this. So, for those who don't know, Maduro took he staged a coup. I don't know how long
Yeah,
ago. I think it was like 10 years ago. He staged a
yeah,
coup in Venezuela. He took control. He's had control over quite a while. There was a deal with Biden where they like said, "Hey, we'll allow you to start selling oil if you hold an election." They held an election. Maduro lost. He says they won, and so now there's like a civil war going on. Whatever. Blah 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 blah. Classic fucking South America. However, here's the
yeah,
fun part. Maduro holds a conference or whatever, or an interview where he goes on and he says that Elon Musk is his arch nemesis because of the freedom of speech. He says Elon Musk is his arch nemesis and that he hates him because he's somehow mind controlling the people into overthrowing him. That's my favorite part. But hold on,
Oh my god.
it continues to get better. So Elon, and this happens today. I think he came out. And he said, "Okay, well, 1v1 me. Let's fight each other."
Oh my god.
And in response, Maduro said, "Any place, anywhere."
No. Oh my. I hate this. What
Oh,
happened to politics? It used to
no,
be so.
dude, this is my favorite thing of all time.
Oh
I
my
love
god.
this. Please, please make this happen. I want, dude. This is so awesome. We're just back to
Uh,
gladiator times, bro. It's so
we're
good.
we're literally regressing using
We are
fucking
regressive.
Twitter.
Yes.
Using Twitter to stage fights between world
Oh my
leaders. I don't
god,
know what's
dude.
happening anymore.
I
It's
fucking love it
idiocracy.
so much, dude.
It's
I love it.
idiocracy.
I'm foaming at the mouth for this content. Do you understand? This is the greatest thing. Also, I think it kind of supports my idea that will probably more populist leaders get elected.
Yeah.
Um,
Let me
any
see if I can find this tweet.
Oh yeah, just go nuts. It happened just recently. I'm sure you'll find it pretty quickly. But holy fuck, dude, it's so good. It's such good content. There's no way Elon Musk is threatening to throw hands with a dictator of another
Yeah.
country.
What the fuck is happening?
What the fuck, dude? That is prime fucking 2024, dude. That is so
Oh my
awesome.
god.
Holy shit, dude. Please let us just live in a time where world leaders just
Things are normal.
1v1 each other.
Where things are normal. Can we have normalcy for once?
There's no
Is that an
normalcy. Democracy is dead.
democracy is dead? Okay, great.
Democracy has
Good to know.
fucking died, dude.
He
Uh,
says, "I accept he will chicken out. Whoever messes with me dries up. Whoever messes with Venezuela dries up." Elon Musk. You want to fight? Let's have it, Elon Musk. I'm ready. I'm not afraid of you. Let's go at it. Wherever you want. Just say where. He's like, "I accept. He will chicken out."
dude, he called them chicken. He hit him with the bok, dude.
Hit him with the Bach Chua.
Oh god. So like what I don't know is like I just cannot believe Maduro who so I mean again, this is a really foggy situation. We've seen like online you can just see waves of people um pushing towards the Capitol and the palace and apparently they chased him out of the palace. They chased Maduro out of the palace. There's also videos of like the military pretty much opening fire on civilians. There's also
Yeah.
videos of some of the military joining in. The leader, the political leader, has asked for the military to kind of flip on Maduro. Dude, it's fucking wild down there. Like, it's so crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I think at this point it's just kind of a mess.
Oh
I
my
don't like, and with Elon, it's like he's turning everything into a meme. Literally everything is turning into a meme.
god. Yes.
Like he touches something, it
Yes.
turns into a meme.
Yeah.
It's like no one knows what's real anymore. I don't know what's real anymore.
That's
Is he
what
gonna fight him?
that's the feeling I get too. Is like I just don't know what the fuck is like what is real, bro? What is happening? Like how do you know any of this shit is and we haven't even hit the stage where AI is just flat pumping out content that like is
Well, I wouldn't say that.
indistinguishable.
AI
Indistinguishable.
is pumped.
It's true.
Oh,
It is. It
indistinguishable.
is. It is pumping. There's like a.
There is a lot of bots that are pumping out AI content on
It's
Instagram.
not even just bots. It's like the VO changes. Have you seen a lot of those? Yeah, those are becoming
Yeah,
really popular. For those who don't know what the fuck those are, it's basically like AI is just talking and generating videos of like celebrities and politicians. It's really popular for Biden, Trump, and even Elon to like get like an AI version of them talking. And it's
yeah,
currently like you can kind of tell, but it's starting to get to the point where you can't tell anymore. And I recently saw a video where I couldn't tell that it was an AI generated video. I
yeah,
couldn't tell. I mean, I was surprised. I sat there for like fucking 10, 20 minutes trying to figure out like, dude, how can I tell that this video is AI generated? I couldn't figure it
yeah.
out, bro. I couldn't figure it out.
Well, and that's the issue. Like, and we need to have AI that combats AI. AI needs to fight AI. That's the future. And it's like I I don't know what we're gonna do about it, to be quite honest, because it's like you have all this power in like a phone, and like how are we going to tell what the hell is going on? Like people could make up fake videos of world leaders, declaring war. Like it's not like a calm situation. It's very stressful.
I mean, I okay, so I think like it gets even worse than that. So
Yeah,
the current thing about AI, the push, is that it can like live generate based on context. Which
yeah,
so like to put it in perspective, like when you're making a video game, you create the digital content, and then you it's saved, right? Like a whole ass
yeah,
cutscene in the video game, the video is saved in the game, right?
yeah,
There's a new push to get the content made on the spot.
yeah,
So there's a couple of value, like there's a lot of value with that because it saves storage space, but also you can start to tailor it towards the individual. So, let's say you're playing God of War and you want, what's his name? Uh, Kratos? Is that his name?
Kratos. Yeah,
Kratos, sorry. Let's say you
yeah.
want it to be black, right? So
Okay.
you can like put that into the system and it'll make him black on the spot. It can like digitally alter maybe a saved cutscene or even produce a cutscene based on what's happening. So like yeah, you can think even smaller or on a smaller level where let's say instead of making a video where it's showing a world leader declaring war on another leader, dude, this shit can be on your phone and like let's say you have TikTok or whatever and like all of a sudden you can get an update for TikTok and all of a sudden it's
Yeah,
got an AI in it that fucking shows you a video of your family getting beheaded or some shit. Like
yeah.
that's that's the kind of level of like technology that we're kind of breaking on. And I mean like your family and then someone else watching is their family. Like that's the kind of shit that it can do.
Yeah.
So like it gets even crazier and crazier. But yeah, AI is. I
I
mean,
don't know. I think that's a positive though. It's better content.
um, I mean, there's always going to be positives and negatives. And so
Yeah,
well, we can talk about some of the positives, right? So there was
yeah,
a pill called ACH 1996. Um,
yeah,
and it's touted as a tumor killing pill.
yeah,
And I was keeping close watch on this because I don't know, it's just really important. But it's about to enter human trials, and it is showing. such insane success rate that like it's crazy. It'll absolutely decimate cancer cells. I think it's like 4 specific types of cancer.
Mm.
Um, but this is the type of stuff that AI can really start to produce at mass scale. And the only reason we aren't quite there yet is because they have to go through human trials. So it takes less than a month to create this shit, the formula for this shit, and it
Yeah,
takes about a year to test it and push it through. So now we have this cancer killing pill. I think it was made with AI. I don't want to like make shit up, but
probably. I mean, it's called AOH, by the way, not ACH.
sorry, AOH, thank you. Um
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff in the works here when it comes to AI that like dude, the amount of stuff we're going to be able to do medically speaking,
I
and the
mean,
two biggest fields that AI impacts is medicine and material science, which are the two of the oldest sciences known to mankind. I mean, if you think about it, for since our
yeah,
history, we've mixed fucking dirt and clay and made bricks, right? Like that's
yeah,
material science. Um, for the longest time, we've eaten plants and tested them out to see what they like help with. That's that's medicine. Like these are two fields that have been around the longest. It's two
yeah.
fields that AI is going to impact the most, and we are starting to see the benefits of that. And to me, this is my favorite part. And it's not
I
just
think,
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, there's an issue with this.
Sure.
Cancer is the second leading cause of death in America,
Hmm.
killing about 608,371 people a year.
Surprising,
What are
I
we
thought it would
going
be
to
higher, but sorry, keep going.
what are we going to do if those people don't die? So we just add 608,000 per year to our population. I don't think
Did you say 608,000?
yes.
608,000 people die a year from cancer?
Yes.
Wow. Holy fuck, dude.
Almost like a little over half a million, right? And it's like
Yeah.
how are we going to handle people dying or people not dying from cancer at such an elevated rate? You know what I mean? Like it's going to be an extra 608,000 mouths to feed. You know what I mean? It's
You're kind of bringing up a concept I didn't really think about. I think right now it might be okay just because the fertility rates are low, but I don't know actually. I have no idea. We are our generation. Someone in our generation is expected to break the 200 mark, which is crazy.
mm,
But
yeah,
based on what we're like seeing now, like I wouldn't be surprised. And I've watched a lot of AI creators,
yeah,
and a lot of them are very hopeful for the future. I think most
yeah,
of it's bullshit, but however, in the two areas I know this is gonna have the biggest impact, again, is in medicine and material science, which they sound like really broad stuff, and they won't have such a direct consumer impact on our lives, but
yeah,
dude, I cannot express. So like from the 1900s to now, life expectancy has more than doubled, right?
yeah.
We're gonna see something. I think we'll see something closer to that, another doubling effect, which is wild to think about. But you're right. I don't know. I don't know what happens.
I
Hopefully,
think we're
good.
yeah we're proving the Bible right.
Really,
We are making the Bible come to life because there was people in the Bible that lived to be 900 years old, and people think that that's crazy and ridiculous. And now we're reaching points where people might live to be 200. It's
yeah.
kind of making me think that life is happening in a cycle on this planet, or once it becomes so advanced, it just completely destroys itself and then it restarts.
Just a couple of people who believe that. Quite a few like prominent figures who
Yeah,
believe that shit. Um, I don't know, dude. I've studied. There's quantum physics is super fucking interesting. But they
mm,
recently got a picture of two quantum photons that are entangled. Quantum
yeah,
photons. They're quantumly entangled photons, and it looks
yeah.
exactly like the yin yang sign. Exact. You should look it up, dude. Just look it up right now. It's 2 seconds.
Yeah, let's
Quantum
take a look. Let's
entangled
just pull it,
photons.
Jamie.
Yeah, pull Jamie. Get the video.
Yeah, let's get the video
Get
going
the
on.
video of the bear with the quantum entangled photons.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Monkeypox. What the?
I was listen. I might be investing in stocks. I don't know yet.
Oh, I got you, bro. Smart move. Oh, there it
Oh my
is.
god,
Isn't that crazy, bro? Isn't this is a picture of two photons that are quantumly entangled, bro? It looks exactly like the fucking yin yang sign, bro. What
that is
the fuck
crazy.
is that, dude? This does not get enough publicity, dude. I know, like sometimes dude, there's coincidences. Like if you look at the way the universe looks, it looks like
Yeah.
the neurons firing in a brain. But this is fucking crazy,
The
bro.
Chinese were right all
This is
along.
fucking crazy, dude. This shit blows my fucking mind, dude. Oh my
That's
fucking god,
crazy.
dude. I'm fucking in complete awe over this shit. Like, dude, I start to have
Also
an
known as the
adrenaline.
5D2, a
Yeah.
graphic symbol that represents the balance between two opposing forces such as light or dark, day and night, good and evil. Originated in ancient Chinese philosophy and is a common theme in Taoism, reflects the interconnectedness of all things in nature.
Isn't
And the
that
idea that
crazy, bro?
that is pretty great. The idea that distinctions between
Oh,
good and bad are perceptual, not real.
oh my god,
So the
dude.
yin yang symbol we found in yoga represents a fundamental understanding of finding balance in life. The
Nah,
Chinese were
that's
right all along.
wild, bro. The yin
That's
yang
crazy.
sign represents the interconnectedness of all things. And quantum entangled particles are particles that, like, if you change one, like, they pretty much mirror each other. They do the exact same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Bro, what the fuck is that? So yes, there's a growing movement in pretty smart minds that, like, that it is cyclical, that biocentrism is kind of picking up, which is the idea that, like, all living things or conscious living things are
Yeah.
basically one organism, one consciousness. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, these philosophies are starting to pick up, dude. That shit blew my mind though when I saw that. I couldn't believe it. That was so freaking crazy. And there are quite a few interesting similarities between what the Bible says will happen and, like, what's happening in real life, dude. I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
That shit. Woo.
They remain connected even when separated by vast
Yes.
distances.
Yeah. You can put
Wow.
one in another dimension and they will still interact the same way.
Wow.
Yeah, it thrives. So I'll throw you even more curveballs. So somehow Russia, China, and the US know how to quantum entangle particles. By the way, we know how to do this.
Yeah.
There's a BRICS satellite that they use for the current for the currency system.
Hmm.
It's using quantum entangled particles. There's even such thing as quantum or communication based on quantum entangled particles.
Really?
Yes, yes, dude. Dude, I'm telling
Wow.
you, when you get into this fucking science, dude, my mind is blown 24/7. Basically, to like put it to explain what it means in terms of communication, it's instant communication, no matter what, over any distance. Dude, you could be on this side of the universe, put someone else on the other side of the universe, and you will still get instant communication.
So I guess this is leading to teleportation then.
Um
Probably, right?
I don't think so. Like, that has to do more with, like, bending space time and shit. This is
So
like
I
bypassing
yeah.
that whole.
How does this operate with a computer? Can we put these
Okay,
particles in a
so
computer?
yeah, so we have those. It's kind of when it goes for computers, it actually gets to predicting the future. So the idea with quantum physics is that every universe is possible, right?
Yeah.
And when you use a quantum computer, it's about navigating these different universes, and it's
Yeah.
actually been done. It's been done before. I believe it's a quantum computer at MIT. They used it to predict how many times a coin would land on heads or tails in a row,
Yeah.
and they were able to get it accurate up to 16 times. So 16 times they ran the coin, they flipped the coin or whatever, and they used the computer to predict what it would land on, and they were able to get it up to 16 times. So theoretically speaking, you could use a quantum computer to predict the future by navigating
Wow.
the different possibilities of the universe you're in. It's so fucking crazy, bro.
Wow.
I'm
Could I
like
have a
obsessed with
quantum laptop connect to the internet in the woods and intentionally feed on League of Legends without the
it.
internet
In
connection?
real time. Yeah, you could. Oh my
Zero
god.
MS ping feeding in League of Legends?
Yep, yep. You could do it. So, I
All
even
right.
there was something recently I saw from DARPA where they, like, figured out how to quantum. Oh my god, they were using quantum entangled photons to bypass fog. Look, I think it's DARPA lasers, straight like DARPA lasers.
Will
There it
help
is.
lasers penetrate fog, aid in surveillance.
Yeah,
This is being done in China.
it's in China. I thought it was the U.S. I thought it was DARPA.
The team at the
At
McKelvey School of
DARPA.
Engineering. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, it said it was liked by Zhen
You're a
Sunjian.
racist, dude. You just assume it's a fucking
I
Chinese,
well,
right?
listen, I saw the name. I thought it was China. Fuck me, right?
Yeah, no, bro. Yeah. So I mean, this
DARPA, yeah.
technology, dude. I tried really hard to keep up with the quantum physics stuff. It is insanely difficult to understand at a fucking macro level. I don't understand how they're doing this shit. Every time I look up like how they're entangling um, particles in general, it'll tell you it's not possible. However, all over the military in 3 countries, they've done it. So like I clearly
Yeah.
they're capable of doing it. They can't tell us, right? But yeah, dude,
Yeah.
it's fucking wild, bro. Like quantum physics or quantum mechanics and like our applications of it are so fucking crazy. It is so wild, dude. It is so wild.
Now, what does this mean for our anime waifus? Can we make them come to life? Is this what's
Mm.
happening here?
No, I mean like I think technically using quantum computers, so like you can't. This idea that like AI is sentient is a bunch of nonsense. The current form of AI, it's not. You'll never hit sentience with this. Sorry for you fucking crazy people, but like
Well, no, no. If you
not
take a
possible.
human brain, if you take a human brain,
Yeah, but that's not
and
AI. That's uploaded intelligence. That's different.
but no, but we only take the parts that we can manipulate, and then cut out the parts we don't need.
Like what?
Like cut out the part that deals with memories and personality, and implant our own memories and personality.
So the parts that deal with memory it used to be theorized that memory was actually located to one region, but it's
Yeah,
that's been disproven. Memory actually takes place all throughout the brain. As far as personality, yes, technically you can cut out the frontal cortex, which is the main player for personality, and like there's already been a lot of proof of this. Yes, you could do that, but that's still uploaded intelligence.
mm.
So
So we would have to literally just create a new brain from scratch using human DNA, and then go from there.
so I have a couple theories, and we're getting kind of into like sci-fi land here. One,
Yeah,
I think the current when it comes to AI, the current form we're using will peak out, and I actually
yeah,
think uploaded intelligence, meaning like mapping the brain and just like brain to computer interface, like Neuralink,
yeah,
I think that'll be a much more valuable uh way to process data and like make
yeah,
decisions than actually using AI. AI would be really good for like dumb shit, like picking up boxes, putting them down, flying a drone in a certain direction, and maybe some simple targeting things. It'll be much better gathering information gathering resource or doing really simple tasks. And I think what will just end up happening is that we'll just have a device in our brain or outside our brain that allows us to communicate very quickly with the computer, just because that makes more sense until we master quantum computers, and then you can kind of hit the AI, like true artificial intelligence, you know, level
yeah.
of craziness that people are thinking of. And I think by then, that's like way in the future. Well, at least I hope, to be honest. But uh, yeah, that's my guess anyway. It's just my.
What is? How does this help with us making the anime waifus? This goes back to the
Oh,
waifu
right, the anime
question.
waifus. Quantum.
Are we gonna have Hatsune Miku, or like what are we gonna have? Are we gonna have Hatsune Miku, or are we gonna have like a dumbed down version of Hatsune Miku?
We're very far from quantum mechanics really playing a role.
I think this really doesn't affect the global environment then yet, unfortunately. Maybe one day it'll be valuable, but right now it's just not valuable information.
So maybe I'm dropping a fucking crazy bomb here, but do you remember the manta ray submarine we covered?
Yes,
Um,
I remember that.
so one of the problems with it is trying to understand how it can communicate. The problem with submarines communicating with like military forces to help them make decisions is
Mm,
that you when you're underwater that deep, it's really hard to do it. And so one of the methods
yeah,
is that like a submarine has to come up to surface, and then they put like up an antenna, and then they communicate with a satellite. Blah 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 blah.
yeah.
There's some like smaller methods, but one of the things you could do is use two entangled
Photons.
quantum. It doesn't have to be photons, but yeah, quantum entangled
Yeah,
particles to communicate across that distance with no interference.
that'd be pretty cool.
I think so too. I've got some crazy theories, bro, when it comes to this shit. But I mean, it's proven. Like the use of quantum entangled particles for communication is a proven thing. The only problem with it is that if you jostle the particle around, if it becomes destabilized, then it's fucked. Like you
Yeah,
can't use it anymore. So it's more valuable in space, where obviously there's not, you know,
a lot of interference.
not a lot of interference. Um, but yeah, I don't know. There's the
I think
future's it's
it's
on our
pretty
way here,
powerful.
bro. The future is like on its way here. It really is. I think
I
genuinely. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I think once we got the 4090, we were pretty much already there. If we're being honest,
Once we got to 4090.
the 4090, the GTX 4090.
Oh. In terms of GPU.
Yeah,
Um, Actually, I don't think graphics cards, as from a consumer level, will play too much a role in the future. Uh,
I mean,
on a consumer level, for main
you're not
companies,
wrong.
for cloud computing, it'll matter. But for us, we'll pretty much have boxes that hold NPUs, which are neural processing units, which are used to house AI. True story.
Well, I think I've been thinking about getting one of those Macs that have the new M2 processor, and it's like a
Yeah,
processor and a CPU combined in one,
yeah.
or a GPU combined in one.
Designed by AI, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so it's like why would I not just use something that just makes it smaller? I don't need to have this big thing anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And
Sorry, keep going.
no, I think that's most computers will be pretty small in the future.
Oh, 100%. I 100% agree with you. I don't
Yeah,
think you'll need such a box anymore. I think like AI is really, again, that comes down to material science is what that
yeah,
comes down to, and efficiency. And I think those efficiency is really a word you need to connect with this technology, because that's what it's really good at. It's just being super efficient at things. And
yeah,
in terms of medicine, I want to keep bringing it back to medicine, because I don't think people really realize its role here. And just to put it in perspective, um, from the time of humans, like recorded history, to before computing, we have about 20,000 known discoveries when it comes to medicine, like chemical discoveries, like formulas. 20,000.
yeah,
With the use of computing and um, machine learning and AI, sorry, not AI, but machine learning. AI is built on machine learning. Machine learning and computing, we doubled it to 40,000. Okay, so we doubled
yeah,
it, and that's in about like 40 to 20 to 40 year period.
yeah.
So 20,000 to 40,000 with AI, which has only been around for about 20 years. It's at 100,000.
That's crazy.
Isn't that fucking wild? And I'm telling you guys, like I really hate this chatbot kind of perspective that we have with
Meta,
AI.
the chatbot meta.
I fucking hate it, bro. I really do, because I think it does such a disservice to this technology. It's like, dude, the chatbot thing is fucking so stupid. It pisses me off. It really does. I think it's the dumbest use of this technology. However, it's the only way to get us as consumers engaged, unfortunately. So I get
Yeah,
it. I get it's the only way to drive revenue, to make money, so that we can, do this stuff in the background. But in terms of medicine, to go from 20,000 to 100,000, and 100,
oh yeah,
and that extra 60,000 done in just a 15 to 10 year or 10 to 15 year period, dude, that's crazy, guys. And it's the exact same with material science. And material science is way, like, it's everything. It's literally everything, dude. It's your computer. It's the rockets we send to space, bro. It's literally everything. All of that shit is designed with the help of computers, and it's the exact same numbers, by the way. The exact same numbers used that came out with medicine. Same thing with material science. Same thing.
yeah,
20,000, 40,000, 100,000. So we can see that type of scaling across the board. Um, and yeah, I'm just so excited for all the stuff going on behind the scenes, because specifically when it comes to medicine, we're already hitting this age. And both presidents, by the way, it's not a coincidence. Both presidential candidates, excuse me,
yeah,
when it was
yeah,
Biden and Trump, have both come out and said they want to cure cancer. They're not saying that randomly, dude. They're saying that
yeah,
because they know that this technology is on the cusp of being available to all of us. So they're saying we're going to cure cancer because this pill is going to come out next year. This pill's going
yeah,
to come out for our use next year, dude. And it won't be the only one. There's going to be a fuck ton of them. And they're going to help cure all kinds of crazy shit. But like both Trump and Biden have come out, I forget what it's called. Biden called it like a cloud something.
mm,
But that was his thing. And then Trump recently came out and said, we're going to cure all kinds of cancers. We're going to cure all kinds of diseases. They're not going to do shit. The AI is doing it. And in China
Yeah.
and Russia, they've both come out too. China came out and said they cured diabetes. Russia came out and said they cured cancer.
Yeah.
This isn't a coincidence. It's not like we're having all these breakthroughs at the same time. It's AI, dude. It's the efficiency of AI just really pushing the system like really quick.
It's utilizing like a human intelligence in a way to cultivate new discoveries.
Kind of like, so the biggest issue, it's not like these things are hard to do. We know how to do them. They just take time to do. You have to
Yeah.
It's a lot of mapping when it comes to the proteins,
But they
and
can do it multiple times and do it
they,
constantly.
they can do it multiple times. They can do it when it's mostly done through a computer now, and the
Yeah.
AI can run those systems for you while you're away, and that's exactly what is going on. But
Yeah.
it's even faster than that, because you have to kind of break things down at a protein level and figure out what shapes and what chemicals work with what. The AI can just do that faster. They can just do it so much
Yeah.
faster because it doesn't it they're processing information quicker, right? It's on a computer. Your computer's
Yeah.
processing information quicker than you are. And the
Yeah.
AI can utilize that processing speed. So we're hitting this fucking exponential processing uh speed potential that's just insane. Like we're
Yeah.
utilizing our computers in a way that we can never do before. And it is just, and in these next 4 years, in the next 5 years, next 10 years, dude, we're gonna hit fucking like peak humanity, and it's gonna be fucking crazy, brother. Assuming
Well,
we don't want to annihilate each other.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm gonna put on my tinfoil hat real quick.
Oh yeah, go ahead,
So
go crazy.
there was an interview I saw a while back, and they interviewed a guy. I don't know if he worked at Area 51 or what it was, but the interviewer that was interrogating him, it sounded more like an interrogator than an interviewer, and he was kind of like asking him really stringent and direct questions and trying to force him to stay along the line of questioning. So I don't really know what kind of interview it was, but he essentially said that he had access to alien technology at some point, or like alien manuscripts or writings. And he said the aliens believed that we were containers, that human beings are
Mm.
containers. And when he was asked to elaborate on that, he just said, like, that's it. That's what they said. They said human beings are containers. And there's a theory going around that humans are part of an incubator that was designed by aliens to for us to be harvested or to be utilized in some way, and that once we reach a certain level of intelligence or a certain like peak in civilization, they destroy us before we can get our weapons that are strong enough to defeat them online and essentially harvest us. That's one of the theories that was going on. Well, really, crazy schizophrenic bullshit, but
I've heard
that
quite a
was one of the,
few humans are were a farm animal, we're being harvested. To be honest, I'm not like crazy about the alien idea. I'm not like entirely sold
no,
on it.
no,
However,
no, neither am I.
the idea that there isn't a bigger animal than us, I think, or like a creature, I think is stupid. Like, or
Yeah.
that there isn't is stupid. There definitely is. Like, it just makes sense. Like,
I mean, also we're kind of assuming the light year theory as well, which is that time happens differently or light years away. I think it's just distance. I think time happens the same no matter where you are. And yeah, if you spend 10 years traveling to get to Mars, for example, the people on Mars that were doing things 10 years ago are going to be happening, 10 years ago. And then when you arrive there, the things that are happening now are going to be happening now. I don't like I keep hearing this thing like, oh, if something that's like 10 light years away, by the time you get there, they'll be 10 years older. It's like, no
no,
shit.
you'll be 10 years older and respective to the, yes, well, it's a theory of relativity, but you'll be
Yeah.
10 years
Yeah.
older and respective to the people you left
I
behind.
think that's bullshit. I think when you get there, they'll be the fucking same age as you. So if you have a sibling and they're your twin and you're both fucking 20 years old and you leave
You are
the
flat out denying the theory of relativity, by the way.
yeah, I know. I don't
Okay,
care.
as long
Yeah.
as you know, that's
And
all.
so if I live on Mars and my sibling lives on Earth and I travel, or let's say I live 10 million light years away, right? And I have a vehicle that takes only 10 light years to get there, right? Or like 10 years in total time, right? So by the time I get there, we'll both be the same age.
No,
Time happens the same across the board.
you will not.
Sorry.
You
I
will
disagree
not.
with the theory of relativity. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine, but it's untrue. What you're saying is untrue.
I'm sorry. I disagree. I think it's stupid. I think it's stupid.
uh,
Time happens the same across the board.
there's not, but sure,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Okay.
Agree to
If I
disagree.
if it takes me 10 years to get to okay, let's say it takes me 10 light years to get somewhere, and I travel at a light year, right? So let's say I travel at however many light years per second or whatever, right? And it takes me 10 years total time to get there. After converting from light years of speed, right? And then by the time I get there, we'll be the same age. Sorry.
It's not you're thinking of time. It's not like you're thinking about time literally. Like if you were to
Yeah.
have a watch and it was only in one place,
Yeah.
and then the other person stopped the watch, it would be the same. But that's not how it works. It's gravity's effect on you changes how you experience time. That's the difference. So like quite literally, if you had a watch and I had a watch and I hit the fucking button and you hit the button at the same time, and then you go into space and you travel,
Mm.
the time would be different. I think that's how it works. The time on the watches would be different. I'm pretty sure, or it's the effect on your body that would be the difference. I think that's one of the two. It would.
No, I think that's stupid. Watch is a watch. If you press the button, it goes down. Boop, boop, boop. It's gonna do the same on both watches, and by the time I get back, it'll be the same time. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. I think that the theory of relativity is stupid though. If that's
this
what the
might
theory of relativity is.
this might be your dumbest take, but I mean, I don't know, dude. We don't have any
I'm sorry.
spacefaring travelers at this point, so
I mean, can you prove me wrong?
maybe I don't know. I'd have to fucking look it
It's
up
a
the
theory,
best
isn't
way.
it?
Okay, dude, don't start that fucking game.
I'm sorry. Sorry, it's a theory, isn't it? It's not even proven. So
Oh my
sorry.
god. Okay, give me one second. I'm gonna pause here. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Where were we? Theory of relativity.
Trump. Yeah. Theory of Trump, more like.
Yeah. So the Trump assassin an assassination attempt investigation.
Yes. Long words.
Yeah. Very. But
Yeah. I watched the Secret Service director get grilled, and she pretty much gave a bunch of non-answers for the entire thing. It was a lot of deflecting and a lot of "please let me keep my job" type of answers.
oh yeah,
Like,
she
yeah,
got fired. She
and
got fired though.
yeah, fired. Oh
Have
yeah,
you seen the new
obviously.
guy?
No, I haven't seen the new guy.
They've been grilling that guy, and clearly he's not nearly as prepped as the chick was. So he's
Yeah,
been getting pissed, and they're getting
yeah,
pissed at him because he doesn't have answers. It's fucking hilarious to watch them. But
yeah,
uh, what we can draw from it is there are so many inconsistencies between what they told us and what the truth is. So they're saying
yeah.
this guy didn't have a social media account. They've recently discovered he has a social media account. Um, they kept saying that like no one had identified the guy as being suspicious, but like there's so much evidence that they knew that the guy was up there and that he was up to no good. And honestly,
Uh,
it's really hard to tell if it's like these people are just incompetent or if it was intentional. I genuinely cannot tell if it's pure stupidity.
I think, like, obviously this was an assassination attempt. This was
Yeah.
planned out.
Yeah, let's be honest. Ryan isn't
The
here,
kid.
dude. Ryan can't hold us back anymore from our conspiracy
No,
theories. He can't
no,
hold us back.
you can't hold it. Like, listen, there was another guy on the water tower that was also shot. Um, the kid was in a BlackRock commercial. This is clearly,
Oh yeah.
people, as in the government that are trying to deal with Trump because they don't want him to win and they want to stay in control. That's what this is. This is we can't win with ideology, so we have to win through force. That's what it is.
Oh yeah.
Plain and
I
simple.
agree, dude. I don't even think it's a shadow beyond a
It's not
doubt.
even, no, it's not. It's not even a question. And it's like I don't really care who wins. I'm voting for Kamala. Once again, I'm not gay, so it's like I don't care. But still, it's just stupid
Oh,
because everyone knows it, and yet there's always this. Oh, we have to be super secretive about it. Ooh, people. We have to worry about the social perspective, the community. Everyone knows. Everyone knows. This
yeah.
isn't. This isn't. This isn't even a debate anymore.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like all you've done is boost his ratings by doing this.
Oh yeah. I don't even think
And
it's
it,
close.
and it's like if the best person you could find to literally give up their life to try to kill Trump was some like low IQ guy who is like bullied in school, then I think that it says a lot about how cowardly you are if you can't even send your own people there.
Well, I think the method of doing this type of thing has evolved using manipulation tactics involving. I mean, it used to be like drugs, but now you can just use social
Yeah.
media and like fucking warping people's minds by manipulating what they see. So I mean, like I'm
Yeah.
sure this poor kid who clearly had direct influence from Larry Fink his fucking goddamn self, uh,
Yeah.
was manipulated to go do something like this, and like maybe they backed it up with another dude on a water tower. I don't fucking know, but I agree with you that like most, whether it's true or not, most people do clearly kind of see it as an assassination, like an attempt from the left to try
Yeah.
and kill this fucking guy. Like I don't even
Yeah.
think it's close. Everyone I talk to says it. Even people on the left are just like, probably.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's hidden at all. They're fucking. They've gone full blazing about it. Um, which I mean, Jesus, dude, Jesus,
Yeah. I
fuck,
mean,
fucking a.
it's like all you've done is essentially guarantee that he's gonna win, unless this is where Kamala wins.
Mm-hmm.
Monkeypox,
Mm.
COVID 2.0, mail-in ballots. We do the same thing all over again. Round two. That's your best bet at this point.
Yeah, I don't. I don't even think it'll. I don't even think that's good enough. I think they'd
No,
have
I
to
was
do some.
looking
Sorry, go ahead.
because like, and if
Explain
you
it.
look at, and I was looking at this on the news, and I'll pull a Jamie here real quick. If you type in
Oh yeah.
monkeypox, and you go to news, 1 day ago, the alarm bells sound in East Africa over a monkeypox outbreak. Where have I seen this before? An outbreak starting out in China and ending up in America called COVID. Monkeypox outbreaks declared in Kenya and Central African Republic. The race is on to contain the spread. 3 hours ago. BBC. New monkeypox strain in DR Congo, most dangerous yet. That was a month ago. Nothing on the news about monkeypox has been over a month ago. There's nothing here that says 2 months ago or anything. And half the results say like hours ago or a day ago. So that's probably going to be their strategy. It's going to be another COVID, which I
While
don't
we're
mind.
while we're here on Google, have you seen the whole Google and Microsoft and Meta are like trying to suppress Trump? So like there's this.
I I read some of Elon's tweets on it, and then immediately afterwards, I went on to Google to test it, and there was no issue.
Oh, really? For me, I went and tested it, and it would not. Nothing showed up. You can test it right now. I mean, you're currently on Google. Donald
Yeah,
Trump.
yeah. So I think one of them was Donald Trump doesn't appear as a president or a candidate
Well, no,
or
when you
something,
hit
or if
Donald
I type
Trump,
in president,
when you do
yeah,
Donald Trump, it'll talk
yeah.
about Kamala with him. Versus when you Google Kamala, it shows. So
Right, top stories. Trump lies about Kamala Harris's race and bashes journalists. Trump issues many falsehoods at Black Journalist Convention. Hostile Trump takes the
this is all
stage.
from today.
Ever.
It seems very changed, but for when I was doing it, like it would only talk about Trump and Kamala. It would never just talk about Trump. Versus when you typed in Kamala, it would only talk about Kamala. But if you typed in Donald Trump assassination attempt, nothing would come up basically in the search bar at the top.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
like if I go to news, that's kind of just what it says. Trump says Harris happened to turn black. I mean, once again, all these news outlets are all biased, so it doesn't matter. Like Google is just showing you results. They're not like
No,
dissing
they
anyone.
were very clearly manipulating the search
No,
too.
no,
It was
no, no,
ridiculous.
because it's literally they are so lazy at Google, and this is easy. This is easy to find out. They are so lazy at Google. They hardly mess with the algorithm at all.
I
All these news
disagree,
outlets,
dude.
no, all these news outlets and stuff are all biased. They're legacy media, and they pay to get pushed to the front. It's just that simple. They pay Google to get pushed to the front, and Google's like, sweet, we love money. Thank you for the money. We're a business. We're a corporation. Thanks for the money. You get to be at the top of the search results. And all of these legacy media are just big giants that can afford to do it.
Yeah,
It's
but
just that simple.
even in the search bar at the top, when you typed in Donald Trump assassination, you know how the autocomplete would normally like complete it for you?
Yeah.
It wouldn't complete it. It would not
What do you
complete
mean?
it. It wouldn't show results. Like a Donald Trump assassination attempt, it would not complete it for you. Like it was crazy.
Okay, so if I type in Donald Trump,
Trump assassination attempt. Now it does,
I don't.
dude. But I'm telling you, last week it did not do that. It would not complete it for you.
I mean, well, if the issue that is that Google isn't auto completing stuff that is relevant to what's happening, then all Elon needs to do is just continuously tweet about things that aren't being put into the thing, and Google will just fix it. So it seems to me like it's a
In
non-issue.
comparison, so I compared it to Bing, and Bing would. So there's no way you're telling me more people are using Bing than Google and searching for Donald Trump assassination
No
attempt.
one uses Bing. I don't
Okay,
care.
then you're
No one.
proving my point. You're proving my point,
But
man.
but once again, if we go over here, let's look at the news. Let's look at the news for Donald Trump on Bing. See, Donald Trump calls ABC's Rachel Scott nasty, hostile, accuses her of being late at
This is
white
from
House
today.
convention. Donald Trump says he would absolutely pardon January 6 rioters. All this is negative news about Trump. And once again, it's all the same outlets. You got Associated Press, Entertainment, you got Newsweek is for
Yes,
Trump,
yes,
CBS
but it
is against
goes
Trump.
deeper than that, dude.
They
The
pay money
fucking
for this. And I can
yes,
guarantee you the money they're paying to be put on the top of Bing search results versus Google is pennies. They probably were like, listen, we'll piss on you, and in return, you will put us at the top of Bing search results. How does
I
that
know
sound?
they do crazier things than that. Alphabet, by the way, the parent company of Google, is also one of the
Yeah,
biggest donors to the Democratic Party, or to
yeah,
well,
no,
to Biden. But like, no, there's so much evidence that fucking Google and and Meta were like working with the Democrats to suppress Donald Trump news
yeah,
and the assassination attempt, that it was crazy. Like, it was going wild. They've clearly fixed it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it does suck for me because I look like a jackass here. You're sitting here googling it and it all looks fine. But I'm telling you,
yeah.
bro, last week when you typed in Donald Trump assassin, nothing would come up, dude. Nothing would come up. And there was also evidence that they were suppressing the videos and the images. Like, I don't know. This shit was fucking wild, bro. They are like not even trying to hide it. And then when you use GPT, which is Microsoft's AI, it and like talked about the assassination, it literally wouldn't tell you anything. It would not say it existed. If you asked Amazon's, who, I can't say her name, otherwise mine will activate. It literally, she'll pretend it never happened.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, if you ask about Ronald Reagan's, it would show. I don't know, dude. There's so much evidence. Um,
I mean, at the and this is something that's also blown out of proportion. The people that are going to vote Democrat are the same people that voted Democrat last time, and the people that voted Democrat the time before that. That's not going to change. People that voted
that is
Republican,
changing. That is changing.
yeah.
There's a
The people
huge
that voted
movement right now for Democrat.
I'm sure there's some Democrats that are voting for Trump because of the assassination attempt, and that's going to happen. But ultimately, the people are going to stay in their lanes for the most part. Very few people are going to veer outside of their lanes. And
I
that's
think
just how
you'd be
American politics is.
surprised. I think you'd be
I
surprised. There's a lot of
I
swapping right now.
I think what people are going to see is more than likely a Trump victory. That's more than likely what's going to happen. I'm voting for Kamala, and I'm saying, and even I'm saying, okay, listen,
Exactly.
this is
Shut
most likely a
up.
listen. I'm voting for Kamala. I'm just saying this is
You are
most likely
not
a Trump
voting for
victory.
Kamala. Stop it.
I am. I literally am. Matt
Oh my
promised me a
god.
steak dinner.
Oh, never mind. Yes, I believe
Yeah.
that you will vote for Kamala for steak dinner. I
Yep.
totally believe that
Yep.
100%.
Yep. I already told
He
all
is
my coworkers. I'm like,
literally
my
buying your
vote's
vote.
yeah, correct.
I told you he was a supporter, didn't I? I told you he didn't like Trump, dude.
I don't care. He's giving me a steak. I don't give a
I'm
fuck
not
what he
saying
is.
you care. I'm just saying I told you what he was, dude. I told you. I
Yeah.
fucking knew that shit.
I knew it too. I already knew it a long time ago, and I don't really care.
That's
I
so
get my steak
funny.
dinner. I get
That's
my
so
steak
funny.
dinner. That's all that matters. But
Oh,
anyways, Trump, and Kamala. That people are going to vote for Trump more than likely because of the assassination attempt. When after they tried to kill him, they realized that. There's even a bunch of companies that put out shorts on his Truth Social stock because they knew he was going to be
oh yeah.
assassinated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. The evidence for people knowing that they were gonna try and kill him was,
Uh,
it's insane. It's like overwhelming.
this was 100%, 100% inside job, 100%. Like not
Yeah.
even can't even deny it. But
Oh yeah.
it's not important. The reality of it is, people. It doesn't matter what you put on Google or Facebook or Bing of all fucking things. No one cares. The people that are going to vote for Kamala have already decided. The people who are going to vote for Trump have already decided. The
Oh,
undecided
I see what
voters
you're saying. I see what you're saying.
the undecided voters are going to
You
stay
mean
home and
no?
jerk off. The reason they're undecided is because they don't give a shit. That's just how it is.
It's
That's just
true.
how it is. And and it's like the only reason you won from the Biden election is because you had to use mail-in ballots. That was the whole point of COVID, was the mail-in ballot bullshit.
You might
And
be
listen, it
right.
was a good strategy. I think you should do it again with monkeypox and give me another $1,600. I wouldn't mind. Just give me a heads up. That way, I know where to invest my money
Where
into
do you put your
stocks
money into
before you
stocks?
guys. Yeah, I was literally researching stock companies that
Hmm.
are like researching monkeypox. That way, I know who to invest in before the monkeypox bullshit.
Smart. Very smart.
Yeah, yeah. I was looking this up 2 years ago before any like I was literally looking this up in 2022, and now we're coming up to the election time, and I'm like, who am I investing in? Come on, who's getting my money?
I feel like it's too late. No.
No, it's not.
I feel like it's
Like
too late.
last time I looked at one of the stocks, it was like
No,
a dollar and
I
twenty
mean
seven
it's
cents for
too
one of them.
late for them to do the whole monkeypox epidemic thing. I think it's too late.
Nope, I don't think so. I mean, what they're gonna have to do is they're just gonna have to like put it into like a random city and just watch them all start falling like flies, pretty much. And then they're gonna have to contain it, and then so they're gonna have to use a bunch of deaths of innocent civilians as an excuse to shut down the whole country, pretty much. I think it's a smart idea. I think that's what they should do. If I was them, that's what I would do.
Oh my lord. Uh,
I'm
on
just
on the other more political domestic topics, we also have the Supreme Court. Um,
oh yeah,
Biden. I actually curious because you remember you were saying you wanted term limits on Congress and the House, or I think it was just
yeah.
the Senate. But what are your feelings on the Supreme Court? Because just for people, so people know, Biden is
The
coming
Sup-
out with
mm.
a formula to kind of limit the Supreme Court's power. So there's a term limit for them. I
Biden,
think it was like
yeah,
18 years, and then
yeah.
also there's an ethics code, just so people know what we're about to be talking about. But
Okay, Biden doesn't exist anymore. Biden is
sorry,
nothing.
whatever. When I say Biden, I
His
mean the
handlers,
fucking.
his
I mean,
handlers have
yes,
come
the
up with a plan.
handlers, the puppet
The
controllers.
puppeteers, yes,
Yes.
they have come up with a plan. All right, and it doesn't matter. The reality of it is, the Supreme Court justices are not supposed to be biased. They're supposed to be completely neutral. They're supposed to stay neutral. They're supposed to follow the Constitution to the letter and vote on cases based on their following of the Constitution. They are not supposed to veer outside of that. Okay. Now, if you can prove a bias of a Supreme Court justice because, for example, they don't like um, people that are poor because they went to a poor community one time and someone that was poor kicked them in the shoe or the shin, and they didn't like that when they were young, and now they have a bias against poor people, right? And so when a bill tries to get passed that says, hey, we should give more money to poor people, they say no because they have a bias. If you can prove that, then yes, they should not be a justice. But other than that, the justices are just supposed to be there to enact the Constitution in its
So
purest
you
form.
don't believe in a term limit for them?
No, I don't. As
Oh,
long as
okay.
they are
I thought you would.
mentally healthy and mentally capable of enacting the Constitution in its purest form into the form of votes for bills and cases, then I think it's fine. I think it's fine. But unless they're biased, if they're biased, they should be removed immediately.
Interesting. I don't. I think it's impossible to remove human bias. Actually, there's a phenomenon. Jumping back to quantum physics because it's so fun.
Yeah.
There's like a, I forget what it's called, like the observation theory, where pretty much it's impossible to remove bias, and the fact that even when you observe something, you are influencing it. Just the fact that
Yes.
you're literally just when you observe something, anyway, with any of your senses, you are influencing it. So it's like
Yeah.
it's it's literally physics wise and mathematically impossible to not be biased. And not only is it
Okay.
impossible to not be biased, but your bias will always influence the world around you. True fucking story, dude. Physics says that's
Okay.
true.
I meant in more of
I know
a
what you mean. I'm
connotation,
sorry. Yeah,
a
yeah.
connotational sense, not a
I got you.
physics.
Yeah. I don't
Connotational.
think there should be a term limit. I definitely don't think our current president should fucking be trying to apply term limits to our Supreme Court. And true
No.
story, Maduro from Venezuela also put limits on
Yeah.
their
That
Supreme Court
because
and their
that way you
judicial.
have an excuse to get rid of the people that
Oh
don't
yeah,
want you in power.
oh yeah.
That's all.
So it,
But I
it
do think there should be term limits for congressmen and senators because those people can kind of just sit there and caucus all day for the rest of their lives and just get paid out the ass for it. Like there's people like they're not supposed to make that much money. They make under $200,000 a year and they live in $1 million homes. How do you think that is?
stocks.
So
It's stocks.
insider trading, stocks, payouts
Well, they
from
tried to ban
private
insider trading.
donors.
True story. Most people don't know about Obama, but during his tenure, he actually got insider trading. He made it illegal for a congressman to trade. And
Yeah,
yeah, guess what? After he left office, they immediately voted to remove it. So
yeah, yeah. Look at Nancy
I
Pelosi.
respect him a
It's like
lot for that. Oh yeah, Nancy is fucking
listen,
probably
I
the most
don't care
obvious.
if you do insider trading. I don't care if you do it. But if you're like cowardly about it and you're like afraid about it, like and you deny it, like don't lie to me. Like I know you did it. It's whatever, man. Listen, you did insider trading. It's cool. It's fine. I would do the same thing probably if, I wasn't, a truthful, honest, genuine person, unlike you, but listen, that's a whole nother story. I like to stick to the salary that I actually get paid by the government, not needing more money for no reason. If I get paid 100,000 a year, I'm happy.
So we actually already talked about this, and I disagree. I don't think there should be term limits. In our previous episode, we talked about why, but yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely don't think there should be term limits on the Supreme Court. I definitely don't think now is the time to be implementing those. If you want to see true fascism, that's what it looks like, by the way. No.
I think whoever wins in the next election, I don't care who, I think they should just impose term limits for everyone, except the Supreme Court
I think that only gives more
and the House of
power.
Representatives. I don't think the House of Representatives is all that important. I think people kind of forget about it. It's like a very forgettable thing.
They forget about it, but it's still pretty important. In order to get bills passed, you have it has to go through all three.
Yeah, it does.
So
But I think the congressmen and the senators, there's like if you compare it to the House of Representatives, which I think is like 549,
I think
there's
it's like
like
495
80%.
or something. Maybe you're right. It's 500 or something.
But when you think about it, it's like over 300 less people that are like congressmen or senators. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like it's pretty distinguishable what should have the
Oh,
term
you are
limits.
saying the term limits for House representatives don't matter? Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
gotcha.
Like I think there's like this ground where, for example, like the Supreme Court justices, I don't think should have term limits because they're supposed to be neutral anyway,
Hmm.
and there's only like 9 of them, right?
Yeah.
So it's like there's so little of it to where term limits wouldn't make a difference. And then you also have the House of Representative, which has like a lot.
Well,
So
it,
at that
it,
point, it
it
wouldn't make a
makes
difference.
it,
I don't
it
feel it would
makes a
make a difference
difference
either.
because of when the term limit runs out, then the president can appoint new ones. And while you're saying they're not supposed to be biased, I don't really know if bias is the right word, but clearly that I mean, there's left leaning and there's Republican judges,
Yeah.
Supreme Court
I mean,
justices.
imagine trying to buy out the majority vote of the House of Representatives in like a secretive manner as like an entire
You
it
just
was like a
blackmail them.
single entity. Imagine Google like trying to buy out half
It's
of the
probably easier
the
than you
House of
think.
I don't think so. What do they do? Just invite them to a Discord group like, "All right guys, so welcome to the Discord call. We're
You
sending you
you you
guys."
buy them gifts, you fund them.
Yeah.
That's how it's always done. You just fund their campaign.
I think if there could be proven like efforts of corporations having influence on both the House of Representatives,
Oh, I
Congress, and the Senate, then I think you could make the argument for term limits absolutely.
there's
But
like
if you can't,
three senators who recently got in trouble for being in bed with businesses. So it
which is
it
exactly
happens.
why, yeah, which is exactly why I feel that way about congressmen and senators, governors and senators, I should say. Whereas you don't really hear too much about the House of Representatives, so I can't really
Oh,
say
I
that
think people don't
definitively.
care, but I'm sure it still happens.
I like, and it's the same thing as like the insider trading thing, right? Like people, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Like if I look up the House of Representatives on the news, yeah, it's not you don't really see a whole lot about it. You know what I mean?
Uh, yeah, it's true. I don't. I mean, even I don't follow many of the much of the House. I follow like if who's the majority, the House Speaker, of course. Some people fucking hate Mike Johnson, but um, yeah. I mean, I'm not
Yeah, yeah,
crazy about it either. And the most important, I mean, it's not like people don't even really pay that much attention to the senators either. Like when I ask people who their favorite senator is, they go like, I don't know. I mean, I'm talking about like people who follow politics, like people
yeah.
who are like they claim they're very political and they have like strong views, and I'm like, oh great, who's your favorite senator? Because I follow quite a few senators. There are some, most of them are dog shit, terrible. Some are fucking
Yeah,
hilarious to follow, like McConnell and Kennedy. Oh my
yeah,
god, dude, those two are fucking hilarious. They say the crazy shit. Major Taylor Greene, hilarious. AOC, funny as fuck. And then you have people like Josh Hawley, and the senator who has an eye patch. I can't remember his name. Those two guys are like, they're some of my favorites because they're very fucking down to earth. They like actually try to do their job in a professional manner. Um, the eye patch guy, Austin Power. Oh my god.
I always think of this guy.
Yeah, they do look similar. But yes, I mean, watching those two together, him and Josh Hawley are great. I actually haven't seen the eye patch senator in a while, but Josh Hawley, he's actually people trust him so much that a lot of the whistleblowers for the FBI, there he is, yeah, what's his name? Crenshaw, that's right, Dan Crenshaw.
Yeah,
Um, but people trust Josh Hawley so much that a lot of the whistleblowers from the FBI have actually gone to him in terms of the Trump assassination thing. And when he was grilling, bro, when he was grilling the director. Okay, first of all, I want to talk about how the director of the FBI came out and literally said, "Oh yeah, we don't know if Trump got hit by a bullet," and then immediately the next day they had to tail that back and say, "Oh yeah, we do know he got hit by a bullet." Like, dude, again, could you be any more obvious about how fucking like what an inside job that was? How are you gonna come out
Yeah.
and say you don't know that he was shot by a bullet when literally it's just like 13 days after it happened? We have all this footage of him getting hit by a bullet. We have all this evidence that he got hit by a bullet, and the director of the FBI is gonna come out and say, "Oh, we don't know." Dude,
Yeah.
it's unreal. Anyways, they immediately walked it back. This guy here, Josh
I mean,
Hawley, my favorite senator,
yeah.
by the way. Fucking please look him up if you're ever interested in actually learning about a good senator. Every single time he's at a hearing, he asks coherent questions. He like he's I don't know who's funding him, but like it genuinely seems like he cares and he tries and he's I don't know, like people trust him. They really
Yeah.
do. So when he was grilling the director or acting director for the SS oh my god,
I'm
me
gonna
dude.
call this right now. I'm gonna call this right now, Doug. And this is purely speculation,
Mm-hmm.
but I think after the election, like 1 or 2 years down the line, maybe sooner, this guy is gonna be convicted of some sort of sexual crime,
Think so?
and he's gonna be removed from his position. Yes.
It wouldn't surprise me. He really is super hawkish when it comes to corporations and
Yeah.
the inside job stuff. Like he is super on it. And anyway, so he was grilling that guy, and he was asking. So he clearly has inside information because the whistleblowers came to him and told him, "Hey, this specific agent like did some malicious shit. You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
clearly got that inside information. So he's asking about it. He's like, "Oh, who is responsible for this particular activity?" And the guy's like, "Oh, it's not one person. It's a group of people." And he's like, "No, I fucking know that it's one person. I know who it is." That's what he said. He literally told him, bro. He was like, "I know
Yeah.
who it is." He's like, "I have his fucking name, dude. I know."
Yeah.
So I mean, I love watching Josh Hawley, but like the shit that's going on right now, like inside between the FBI and Congress, like it's so fucking crazy, dude. They're sitting them down, they're grilling them, and they're just firing people back to back to back. It's like a clean house thing. I'm glad. I hope they keep up the pressure, and I hope I hope they just keep exposing them for all the bullshit. But yeah, Josh
Honestly,
Hawley, I'm telling you, he's a good
he's
guy.
he's probably gonna run for president after
I
this
would vote
upcoming
for him
election.
hands down, bro. Hands down, I'd vote for this guy. I love, I
I'd
love
vote
him.
for him if it wasn't for the awkward smile. Like either smile
Yeah,
or don't smile. Like make up your mind. This
he
is
looks
like I
better
can't
in
decide
video.
here.
I'm not gonna lie; these pictures are all pretty shit. But like watching him, you gotta see a video of him when he's doing the hearings, because like then you'll fully understand. Like this guy, he's good. He's good at his job. He understands. Like it seems like he actually cares about keeping corporations in check, and not. I don't mean like needlessly, but I'm talking about like
Yeah.
during the whole um when they were grilling social media on the child thing, where children's usage of their shit and like the protecting them from pedophiles and stuff. He was on it,
Yeah.
bro. He was fucking on. Like he clearly understood what the hell was going on. But yeah, I mean that all plays into him being
I
younger
don't know.
too.
This is not a smile I can vote for. I'm sorry. It's not.
Oh my god.
It's like, are you smiling? Are you grinning? Are you cringing? Are you smirking? Like, what's going on here, buddy? If
This
you
it
can't
looks like an
decide for
older
your
picture, dude. It looks like an older picture, first of
listen,
all.
if you can't decide for yourself what you're doing with your face, then how are you going to decide what's going on with the face of the country?
He
You know
looks
what
a
I
lot
mean?
younger in these pictures than he does now, but I'm telling you,
Like even this one, which looks slightly more natural, is still pretty bad. Like this is bad. I'm sorry, I can't vote for this. Let's look at Kamala Harris smiling. Look at that. Look how good that is. Look at this.
Okay, I get it too. She's a better smiler than
Oh
my
my
boy
god. You know, this is
Josh.
so funny. This is so funny. Mayo Rudolph to return to Saturday Night Live to
They do
play
look
Kamala Harris
alike.
in season.
They do
You want to
look
know why?
alike.
You want to know who this is? You want to know who this woman is from? She's from the
What?
movie Idiocracy,
Oh, really?
where she becomes the vice president of the country.
What? Was it intentional?
Yes, it was intentional. So the movie is about these two people, Maya Rudolph, which is one of the actors. You can see her right here, younger. See her in
Yeah.
Idiocracy, and her and the main character get stuck in these incubation pods, and then 500 years later, they're stuck in like America. 500 years later, and everyone's stupid. Everyone's like idiotic, and the main character becomes the smartest guy in the world, even though he's like average intelligence.
Wow. It's actually
And
kind of
so
funny.
And so it's actually so funny because I literally thought about Idiocracy when I thought about Kamala Harris. But like you look at her smile, that's a good smile. That's a smile I can vote for. And you go back to John Hawley. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is something that people pay attention to, whether you think so or not.
No,
Look,
I mean, like, I agree with you, but like, I'm telling you, this guy is
but look at
fucking.
that.
He's on it.
Undecided, undecided, and then you move forward to Kamala Harris.
I hate you. I don't fucking hate you, dude.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Is that not a beautiful smile? Like, come on.
Yeah, it's too
Look at.
bad when she speaks, I lose all my brain cells. Like,
Okay, listen, listen,
it's really unfortunate that when she talks, I literally lose brain cells.
and then look at Donald Trump. That's a good smile right there.
Dude,
And then look again. You go back to
how come all of his pictures look like a mugshot picture?
because he's just that fucking hard.
Holy shit, dude.
Hey, like you look at him smiling, it's like it looks good. Like two good smiles. Right
One
there.
of these days, probably when he gets. Oh my god, can we talk about how Donald Trump has been making a lot of appearances on podcasts? Like a
Has he?
lot. Yeah, he's on a lot of like he did the Joe Rogan or not Joe Rogan. Sorry, Phew, I'm jumping gun here. The Logan Paul. He did their podcast or Jake Paul. I don't know which one it is. He was on theirs. He
Jake Paul?
yeah, he was on
No,
their podcast.
no, no, no way, no way.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he was fucking on it, dude. Jake Paul. We need Trump. They did it.
The Donald Trump interview
Yes,
impulsive.
impulsive. Yeah. So I don't support his podcast. I've heard like really awful shit, but Donald Trump was
This
on the
is so
podcast with him.
weird. This actually makes
No,
me like
it's
Trump.
not weird. It's fucking 2000 IQ, bro. Do you know how many people watch these podcasts?
I don't.
Fair
But
enough.
I've never even heard of it until now. But all I know is one thing, and that's I don't like Jake or Logan Paul. I think they're both kind of cringe, to be honest.
I, I
So
I completely agree with you. I don't support.
so I do think that they're kind of cringe. I will say that. I think Trump going on the podcast is kind of smart. You know,
He's
there are
been
people
doing.
that
He's done a few of them, bro. He's done a few of them, and I just know he's gonna be on the Joe Rogan podcast, and I'm
I
so
just don't want
excited.
him to turn into fucking Obama. Obama, all he did was go on reality TV. It's
Well,
like,
why do you think
bro,
it would,
what are you
dude?
doing with the fucking country? Stop going on
But it
TV,
was smart,
please.
bro. He got a lot of fucking
It
votes
was
that way.
smart, but it was stupid at the same time. So it's like,
I agree, but like this is another thing where I think where another evidence that like I think this is the future of how presidents get elected, bro. They're gonna have to appeal to the mainstream internet audience. Like this is the new.
idiocracy. It's turning into idiocracy. This is so
You might be
stupid.
right. I haven't seen the movie, but
Look at this. We're gonna have Terry Crews as the president wearing fucking skiing boots. Like, what is
true,
happening right now?
true.
On a
The,
fucking, this is the
what's
smartest guy in the
happening
world.
is people don't trust politicians. That's what's happening. They'd rather throw their weight behind a celebrity than they would a politician, and it's fucking sad because most celebrities are retarded. Most of them
Yes.
are really fucking dumb, dude. That's what I've learned recently.
Yeah,
All of them
they're
are
not paid to
really
be
fucking
smart. They're
stupid.
paid to be there.
But like, this is the new meta. It's to get as many.
This is the inner circle of this is the cabinet. This is the cabinet of the president. Everyone's wearing their gold chains and their fucking medals. Yep, there you go. There's the cabinet.
It's the future of politics. Just get as many
Oh,
influencers and
Pepsi
celebrities
right there.
behind you as possible.
Terry Crews with a machine gun. Honestly, I'd rather vote for Terry Crews with a machine gun over any other candidate at this point. Idiocracy is actually looking better than our current situation.
I don't know.
That's Terry Crews. Look at him.
I don't know.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, and there's Maya Rudolph once again back in I think it was 2003. It's kind of, and so it's actually really funny that she's playing Kamala Harris on Saturday Night Live. It's actually hilarious. I think it's forecasting. It's foreshadowing. I'm sorry.
Uh,
Yeah.
it just is. It just is. I don't know how I feel about it. I just know that this is like the direction that we're heading in. We're heading in this direction of like so like there's all these rumors for like one, Taylor Swift. They're saying she's gonna come out very vocally at some point towards the end and support Kamala. I know Donald Trump's gonna go on the Joe Rogan podcast. He's been making a lot of appearances. He's got to go on the Joe Rogan podcast. I know they're saving it closer towards election time to have the biggest impact. But I'm gonna fucking cream my pants. To be honest with you, I'm not gonna lose
honestly,
it.
if he goes on to the Joe Rogan podcast, Joe Rogan is literally gonna go underneath the table and start sucking him off.
Dude, it wouldn't fucking surprise me, dude. What they gotta do is get Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, and Trump all in the same room, dude. It'll break the fucking internet, bro. Every male between the ages of 13 and 45 are gonna watch that shit. Holy fuck, dude! It's gonna happen. It'll happen. I think there's like no doubt in my mind at this point. But yeah, we're seeing
I don't know.
a new type. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm tired of all these chronically online Andes, dude. I am so tired of it.
You're,
Elon Musk posts on Twitter every fucking day. It's like, get a life, get a life. I'm like, I'm even doing the Trump hand movements because I'm so distressed by all of this.
this is crazy.
Like,
This is crazy.
this is
This is
crazy.
this
This
is
is crazy.
this
Very
is.
bigly, very bigly. It's gonna be so bigly that we don't even know what to do with ourselves. It's gonna be so big, like Joe Rogan's cock. Oh God, it's so big on the podcast. But it's it, eh, like, get off the fucking internet. Listen, go to
It's
your
where it's how
debates.
you
Go to
influence
your rap.
people, bro. The
I'm
debates
tired of it.
do
I am
not win
tired
you
of it.
anymore. They don't win things anymore.
When I was a kid, and I'm gonna sound like a boomer. I'm sorry.
We're
When
at that
I was a
age.
kid,
Oh, it is what
yeah,
it is.
when I was a fucking kid, the Motorola Razor was the phone everyone had. It was a flip phone. Texting was a pain in the ass. You didn't get very good signal. You couldn't use an internet browser really, and it was in your pocket, and the battery didn't last all too long. But you could text people and you could call people, and there wasn't this like need to post about your fucking life on Facebook or Twitter. No one gives a shit. I see, fucking people post on Twitter every single day.
You know we're
I'm like,
podcasters, right?
at least we're discussing something. Like, at least we're talking about something that's relevant,
I
or
agree
like
with you.
having
I agree
having
with
a
you.
having like an intellect, like some at least
Yeah,
somewhat
we're not
intellectual
mind rotting,
conversation.
which is nice. It feels good.
You're not seeing me on fucking Twitter reposting about the new Taylor Swift album and how I'm so excited to see it with my
Yes,
besties. Like,
yes.
I'm tired. I am so tired of the internet at this point. That's why I've switched to playing paper magic, because I'm tired of
Wait,
seeing all these pixels and politics, no pun intended, on the screen at all given times.
I actually kind of agree. It's kind of a growing
Yeah.
thing where I'm like, I kind
Like,
of fucking hate
look at
my
Magic the Gathering.
computer,
Look
man.
at how many Magic the Gathering decks I have. I didn't need to spend money on any of these. I do it to get away from reality, not to go towards it.
Yeah. Either way, where I think this is, we kind of saw it with Obama, where he kind of really tried to step into the younger crowd, which was on the internet, and they were doing memes. And to be honest, what I most remember about Obama was him fucking having that internet presence. And now we're seeing the same efforts by Trump to do the same thing, and it's I think it'll pay dividends whether he wins or not, whether you like him or not. I think it's worth the effort, and he's been showing up on all these podcasts um, that generate millions of views, and yeah, I
The
think it's gonna
people,
help him.
and I've already said that the people that are going to vote for Trump have already decided they're going to vote for Trump. The people that are going to vote for Kamala have already decided they're going to vote for Kamala. The people that are undecided are not voting at all. Because that's why they're undecided, is because they don't give a shit.
I don't think the elections is as donezo as you think. I think
The only way the Democrats win is with mail-in ballot techniques. That is the only way. They literally they go they activate their chakra, do the ninjutsu, activate monkeypox ninjutsu. That's literally how they win. That is their only method for winning at this point. They failed the assassination attempt. They're not going to win on the media landscape because they control all the legacy media, which no one gives a shit about anymore. The only way they win is with
I
monkeypox.
don't know, dude.
And honestly,
If I see
I
one of
want
my
it to happen.
grandmothers fucking yell at me for being a Trump supporter, just kidding, they don't yell. Most of my grandmothers are kind, but like, if I have to deal with one of them fucking losing their mind over Trump because they watched a bad news report, I'm gonna fucking lose it, dude. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it's like, and honestly, I don't even care. Just do the monkeypox mail-in ballots strategy, and so I can get some more stimulus, please. I don't care. The economy is irrelevant to me at this point.
It's so funny. All right, well, it's been nice. I think this will be one of our more longer
Longer.
episodes. We covered fucking.
Because now
Uh,
we don't have Ryan sitting there in silence doing fucking just staring at us like, when are we
it's
gonna?
not his fault. We miss him. Hopefully, he
No,
comes back
no.
soon.
He's holding up the metaphorical sign. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Or Ryan, dude. Oh my god. But yes, it's been pretty fun. Been nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Very thought provoking.
Hopefully we get some on the ground reporting in Israel from Brian the next time we see him.
No, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Israel is known for kind of taking out reporters at this point.
Who cares? The reporters are not people.
Oh my bad. My fault.
Yeah, they're journalists. Journalists aren't people. They're like leeches. All they do is tell people what's happening. That's like what 200 other companies do. Like, you're not unique, dude.
Actually, it's like four. But yeah.
That's legacy media. I'm not talking about legacy media. Legacy media is dying, Doug. They're dying. How do you think they're bought out so easily? Because they're dying.
If you're bought out, you're not dead. You still exist.
Well, yeah, because you've been bought out. Because if you weren't bought out, you wouldn't exist anymore. That's the difference. And once again, you're going to see legacy media continue to die off. It's going to go because you can only spend so much money. The people in power can only put so much money and continue to funnel it in. It's
I
almost like
agree.
the
I,
bail.
I hope towards the end here, at least this election, I hope acts as kind of a reset button for.
People are more likely to go on Twitter or to go on Instagram or something like that to look for their news rather than fucking CBS or NBC or whatever. No one gives a shit about any of that anymore. The younger audience
Too
has
smart.
taken over. Yeah, they've taken
Too
over.
smart. Too
Yep.
smart.
Yeah, but yeah, it's been long.
Yeah. Thanks, viewers, for listening. Goodbye. See you next episode. Goodbye.
Yep.